too. Like, that's the timing of it. They did this when he was like 5 to 7 years old. She spent 10 years in jail. He spent 25, and when she got out, his uncle raised him from the age of 7 until he was like 16. And this is my friend Christopher. My best friends all know. If my best friends are in the channel, they'll know this story. I'll probably make them cry telling the fucking story. But I mean, that's the story that I learned that I lost my soul to when I was 13. When I was 13, one of my he was my best friend at that time. He was my best friend. Well, I'm sorry. Well, I mean, Sam was my best friend at that time, but Sam was in a different class and didn't hang out with us and play in a band with us and stuff. It was a little bit different of a situation. But then Sam was my best friend even back then. But I mean, my other best friend was my friend Christopher, who had his parents put cigarettes out on his dick when he was 5 years old. Now, I don't tell these things to like sicken you or scare you away from my channel. That's just the reality that I had to deal with since I was 13. So his mother got out of jail when he was like 17. Well, not out of jail, but she went on probation and parole when he was 17. And she tried to get back in his life, and she contacted his uncle. And we didn't know. He didn't know. My best friend, my best friend at that time, he did not know what happened to him. He had done what's called regressed his memory. He had repressed his memory to the point where he just couldn't, he couldn't remember that it happened. And since he was like 9 years old, he had just regressed the memory, went back to school, got normal again. His uncle helped him attain normality, and he got better, and he went to a Waldorf school, and he made friends with my band, and he was friends with them like his whole life and stuff, and he did better for about 7 or 8 years. I met him when he was like 14 in my freshman year. And yeah, and then at the age of 16, and it just goes on. I could tell all the horror stories that turned me into the careless, shitty asshole drug addict that I am. But I'm going to tell all the stories. This is the first one. I'm going to tell all the stories that jaded me and fucked me up and turned me into a shithead. There was my friend Christopher who had cigarettes put on his dick by his parents. When he was 17, he was our backup guitarist. He was attractive. He was young. He was a punker. The girls liked him. The people liked him. My friends liked him. The teachers liked him. He was not the king of the school. That was me, but he was close. He was the interesting guy in the school. He was the nonconformist. He was the one who taught us all how to be punkers and stuff. He taught us who the Republicans were. He was on top of it. He was the most on top of it person I'd ever met. He was a kick-ass fucking backup guitarist too. He really was. He was a good guitarist. He was a good punker guitarist. We trusted him. We loved him. He drove us around in his car a lot. He let us live in the basement of his house. And his uncle loved the fact that we were his friends, even though all that bad stuff had happened. So his uncle loved us and took care of us. He really did look out for us. He taught us things about transcendental meditation and drugs. He helped us score pot when we were going down to downtown and risking our freedom trying to buy pot from downtown drug dealers. And he was like, nah, if you're going to buy pot anyways, just let me buy it for you. Because it's just like, you're just going to get busted downtown. Which I did. I got busted downtown a bunch of times. He was right about that. I wish I could have just bought pot from him the whole time. But anyways, so that's the first terrible thing that ever happened to me, was understanding that when his mother came back into Christopher's life, he unrepressed the terrible sexual assault, the terrible rape, and the putting the cigarettes out on his dick and all the terrible things. And I asked him, how I found out was I was like, the hottest girl that I've ever met just hit on you right in front of all of us, and you turned her down, and I'm wondering why, buddy. Are you gay? Are you weird? Are you too young? Are you just too much of a virgin? Are you? It appears that you've gone through pubescence because you talk about naked girls all the time, and you're horny as fuck, and you tell us how horny you are all the time. But it's like, but when the hottest girl that we've ever met hits on you, you turn her down and make fun of her. And I was like, are you gay or what? You really hurt that girl's feelings, and she's a friend of mine. That was my friend Lauren. Lauren hit on him, and he wouldn't accept it, and that really affected her very badly. She was like, am I ugly? Am I not good enough? Yeah, she came to me and she was like, am I ugly? Am I not good enough? What's wrong with him? And I was like, nothing's wrong with him. And she was like, what's wrong with him? And I was like, I don't know. And she was like, something's wrong with him. And I was like, I don't know. Maybe he's gay? And she's like, no, he's not gay. He talks about fucking naked girls all the time. I can tell he's not gay. I can tell that he gets a boner when he looks at me, but he won't actually date me, and I don't know why. And I was like, I don't know why either. You have to take it up with him. I don't know what the problem is. So I went and asked him, and his answer was, well, I'm going to tell you something now that I won't tell anybody else, but you're like my best friend. I'm just going to tell you why I'm weird. And I was like, okay, I need to kind of know because something's going on. you're like, you're skipping more school and you're doing more drugs and something's wrong. You just turned down the hottest girl that I've ever known, almost, except for the girl I was dating. And like, you know, and it's just weird. And he was like, yeah, when I was young, my parents put cigarettes out on my dick and they went to jail for it when I told my uncle. And they're still in jail. My father's in jail till I'm probably 25 or 30, and my mother's getting out next year. And he's like, she's been writing me letters, and I read one of them, but I don't read the other letters because the one I did read fucked me up. And I didn't know any of the stuff that she and my dad did to me when I was like 5. And I was like, really, you didn't know? And he was like, yeah, I did what they call repressed or regressed it. I just had no idea it happened until I received the letter out of the blue in the mail one day, and she just addressed it to him, but she didn't leave a return address. So he read the letter, and she was like trying to tell him that she was getting out of jail soon, and she wanted to apologize to him and make it better, and all this stuff. And then he was forced to examine all the bad stuff that had happened to him. This unraveled his psyche, and he went from the king of the school. Well, I was the king of school, but he was like the right-hand man to the king of the school. And I had the hottest girlfriend out of all of us, but he had her best friend interested in him, which was just crazy. So she was the coolest girl any of us had ever met, the coolest girl that any of us had ever met. And she still is. Lauren was the coolest girl we've ever met, hands down. She was the king. She was the queen of all the high schools in Denver when I was in high school. She was the coolest girl we ever met. She was interested in my friend Christopher, and she somehow managed to suss out that there was something really wrong with him. When I asked him, he told me the secret, and I was like, oh, that's what's wrong? You're like, you all those memories came flooding back? And I told him about a story in one of my favorite fantasy novels about Richard Rawl in the Wizard's First Rule. He partitions his mind when Darken Rawl is torturing him, and I was like, this is the only time I've ever heard of regression or repression. But I was like, one of my favorite characters in one of my favorite fantasy novels, he was raped and tortured by this terrible dude, and in order to survive it, he regressed and repressed his mind and separated and partitioned his mind between the person being tortured and the person that was just normal, and he separated the two, and he got borderline personality disorder. I've always suspected this was actually Terry Goodkind was like this, but he made it the main character in his story. And so I was like, I've heard of regression and repression before, but my only experience with it is like a story in a fantasy novel, but I know what it is. And he was like, that's good because most people don't. And he was like, yeah, I'm really fucked up over my parents, and when I understood what they did to me and how fucked up I am, and that I'm probably never going to be able to sleep with a girl ever because I have scars on my penis. And I was like, I understand, buddy, and I don't judge you, and I'm sorry that happened. And that's the first horror story that I heard in my life when I was 13 years old, you know? And it was a horror story. It fucking fucked me. Then, on top of it, when he was 16, she reached out to him. He regressed all of it, he regressed after he had repressed all of his life, and he lost his sanity. I watched him do it in the space of 7 weeks. He lost his sanity. At the end, he went from being the king of the school or whatever to, like, you know, and having all the hot girls interested in him and being in a punk band and being super popular and very funny and very on top of it with money and a car and all this stuff too. He had crashed his car. He had lost all his money. He got his guitar stolen. He was on meth or some kind of fucked up drug, whatever psychotropic drugs they gave him, the doctor gave him to get over the terrible repression of his childhood rape. Whatever drugs they put him on erased his zone and erased his mind and erased his personality. And he was just this slug. He was a slug of a human being afterwards. And he's not the first person I've seen like this. He was the slug of a human being afterwards. The last time I ever saw him, well, I mean, it wasn't the last time I ever saw him. The last time I ever heard from him was that he had dropped a toddler off of a fucking ladder in Tennessee because he couldn't live in Denver anymore because he lost all of his friends. My friends wouldn't speak to him anymore because he got so weird and changed so much, and he was so unpleasant to be around and so mean and so fucked up that all of my friends, my bassist, my drummer, my lead guitarist, all of my friends, we had to convene a fucking circle, and we're like, we're kicking Christopher out of the fucking band. We're not hanging out with him anymore. The shit that he says to us, he made the bassist cry today, which is insane. He like called up my bassist at his job at the record store. He was like, you have to talk to me on the phone for an hour. I'm having a mental breakdown. And my bassist was like, no, they will fire me, and this is the greatest job I'll ever have. I'm not going to lose this job over you. I'm sorry, we'll have to talk after work. You can come on down to my work and you can hang out here and you can talk to me while I sort records, but you got to come down here. I can't sit here and talk on the phone. The boss will fire me. He was like, you got to talk to me, man. And he like extorted my bassist. He was like, you have to talk to me or I'm not your friend anymore. And my bassist was like, no, I'm not losing my job just because you have to talk to me. You have to come down to the record store and talk to me in person so they don't fire me for sitting on the phone for an hour. And he was like, no, you got to talk to me on the phone. I'm not leaving the house. And this caused like a terrible rip between my bassist and my backup guitarist. My bassist gave up on him. When my bassist, the nicest person I've ever known, basically gave up on him, we all gave up on him too, which was just insane. When my bassist did it, we all did it. And we were just like, nah, okay, if R is giving up on him, then we're all doing it, because he's the nicest person that we've ever met. If he can't put up with Christopher anymore, then none of us can. So we all just wrote him off then. We stopped answering the phone calls. This is one of the worst terrible things I've ever done. I stopped answering the phone calls. I stopped hanging out with him. I turned my back on a rape victim, you know, who was raped by his fucking parents, because he was not the same person anymore. He just was this broken shell of a human being. The last time I saw him, he was sitting in front of a television screen in front of the snow. And I'd hung out with him the night before, trying to just be his friend, you know, and I left at like 11:30 at night. I came back at 6 p.m. in the afternoon, and he was still zoned out. 18 hours later, he probably slept, but I don't think he did anything out. He was zoned out. His brain had become a vegetable. He didn't know my name. He didn't know his own name. He had just completely lost his sanity. He was basically straitjacket at that point. He was a straitjacket. I recommended to his uncle that he get him committed. I full-blown did. I walked upstairs as I left, and I talked to his uncle, who was a good, dear friend of mine. I'd known him for, I don't know, 5 years or something, and I was like, I recommend that you inter or commit Christopher. I believe he has lost his sanity. I believe he has regressed and repressed his childhood trauma. When his mother reached out to him, I believe it has broken his sanity. He has lost all of his friends. Nobody but me will speak to him anymore. He cusses us out. He threatens to kill us. He threatens to kill us if we don't talk to him. He does all kinds of crazy stuff like this. He fixated on me because he's obsessed with my girlfriend and her best friend. And he's just, you know, and it's insane. He fixated on me, and he would call me all day of hours and night, and he would just hang up the phone. He fixated on me, and this is the first person that fixated on me in my whole life. There's been like 9 of them or something like that, and all of them made death threats against me. All of them fixated on me, just like the pieces of shit who fixated on me yesterday. They don't care that I've been through all these terrible problems. They think it's funny. And it's the same old piece of shit, cocksucker, worthless ass piece of shit human beings that aren't even worth the fucking the genetic material that made them. And, you know, and so that's the first terrible thing that happened. Then there was my first 2 breakups. They were terrible. Then there was the subsequent meth addiction when I was like 22. Then there was my one of my best friend's sisters told her parents that we were doing meth, and overnight all of my Facebook friends dropped me. 500 friends disappeared off my Facebook overnight. It was like 7 days or something, and 500 people dropped me off their Facebook the minute that they heard I was doing meth. It was insane. All of them were doing cocaine, but because meth is more evil than cocaine, and they're worthless piece of shit trying to play God and judge me lives or whatever, because methamphetamine is supposedly worse than cocaine. I never touched a line I've done lines of cocaine like 4 or 5 in my whole lifetime, but I don't like cocaine, but I didn't judge them for doing cocaine. I was like, oh, cool, you guys do coke on a Sunday night? And they're like, oh yeah, we do coke on Sunday night every once in a while when we listen to Modest Mouse. And I was like, I don't care about that, that's fine. But when I did meth with my friend Robin, they fucking narked me out. 500 people dropped me off my fucking Facebook, and none of my friends ever spoke to me again. Not a single one of them. They're like, my best friends in my inner circle did. They were all like, that's fucked up, bro. We're not dropping you like that. But all my band, all my circle, not my circle, but my outer circle, my band, all my high school friends, all my Facebook friends, they all just dropped me because I did meth that one time for a couple of years. It was like 2.5 years or something like that. And sure, I was a drug addict. Sure, it dropped me. I get that feeling. I understand it. I don't like drug addicts either. But it was kind of fucked up to throw away 12 years of friendship over a 2-year period in my life. It was kind of fucked up. I don't trust human beings anymore. I don't want their friendship. I know what happens. Even my best friends, I don't want their friendship anymore. I know what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if my best friend never spoke to me again. I don't want the friendship anymore. I'll be honest, I don't. Because I know what it is. It's just pain to him that I exist. That's all it is. That's all it was to all of these people. It pains them that I exist and I have pain, and I try to deal with it. That was the first bit rack of fucked up shit. Then there was the 7 years I spent in my 20s as a meth addict over two different sessions over a 10-year period of 7 and 3 years essentially, although there was a break in between. And then there was all the times the cops threw me in jail when I was 17, tried to fuck me on fucking felony charges when I was 17 for possession of drugs that I wouldn't even make illegal if I was in charge. Like MDMA, I wouldn't even make that illegal. It's insane. So, you know, so they fucked me with my first felony charge when I was 17. I dealt with my first drug addiction when I was 21. I was an alcoholic for 5 years there. I drove my best friend to alcoholism, and he gained 200 pounds just being around me, because I turned everybody around me into fat, drunk alcoholics. Druggies, fat, drunk, alcoholic druggies. I turned everybody into that. Even my mother, I think I've turned her into that. It's insane. I turned everybody around me. I'm the most evil, fucking corrupt person. I corrupt people left and right. I'm not as bad as Jeffrey Epstein, but I am that kind of devil's cabana boy. I'm really more of a before rehab friend, and I'm the guy who caused you to have to go to rehab. I'm a fucking terrible, fat, slovenly, drunk drug addict, you know? And it fucking pisses me off, all this stupid shit. So that was my teens, and that was my aughts. That was all highlighted by Columbine and 9/11 and Century 16 and Chuck E. Cheese and all these Colorado mass shootings and problems and stuff. Then there was the rape and murder of my friend Alyssa Heberton, who was one of the 4 girls in my high school class. There was 10 people in my high school class. She was one of the 4 girls. She was like a sister to me, and I saw her 3 weeks before she passed. I was in love with her sister. I would have married her sister. It was insane. And she knew that, so she was friends with me more so than she would have been normally. And so she was a very dear friend. I lost her. Then I lost my friend Jan. When I was 36, about 10 years later, I attempted suicide when I was 27, because the girl that I've been in love with since I was 14 years old, that I was waiting for 20 years. So it's like not 20 years, but 12. It felt like 20, but it was 12 years. I waited 12 years for my best friend to get clear of all her relationships, because I wanted to date her. I asked her to marry me in a hotel room in Vegas, and she said no. And she was like, "But you can't hate me, and I still want to be your friend." And I was like, "Okay." She was like, "No, and it's only because I know that I won't stop doing cocaine, and I know that I won't stop sleeping around on people. I've cheated on so many people in the last 5 years." And she was like, "I don't want to cheat on you. I don't want to lose the friendship that we have, and I don't want to do cocaine with you. I don't think you can handle it." And I was like, "I can't. I'm a very druggy person. I have no self-control whatsoever. I can't be doing cocaine or meth or heroin or any of that stuff. I don't have any self-control." And I was like, "I respect the answer. Thank you for telling me the truth." And she's like, "It's okay. We'll be friends forever, but I probably won't be around you as much anymore. I move into California, and what we had just isn't there anymore." And I was like, "That's okay, no problem." And so I lost the love of my life, and I attempted suicide. I took 100, love of my life at that time anyways. I took 160 naproxens and 70 Tylenol PMs or some such, and I lived through it to tell the tale, because I smoked meth and drank 240s of Steel Reserve, and I was too drunk. I kept puking for like 5 hours, and I kept puking up the pills, and it saved me. I also kept, I got puking blood, by the way. I puked blood all over the basement of our house, and we had to have it repainted, and we had to sell it. It was that bad. I puked blood all over the bottom section of our house, from the hallway, from the living room all the way down the hallway to the bathroom. I puked blood all over the walls and the floors, and my mother left my life that day. She left my life for 5 years. She gave everything I owned away, including the books and the poetry that I've written for the last 12 years as a lead singer. She gave everything I owned away. She threw it out on the curb or gave it all away, and she moved away to California because she didn't want to have a meth addict son anymore, and I don't really blame her. And she feels guilt about this, but I don't feel guilt about it. I don't blame her. I would have done the same. So then I went to the streets with a broken arm. I stole from Safeway to feed myself. Stole $21 from Safeway, and an in-store security came running full tilt out the front door and tackled me into the pavement, going full tilt. No warning, nothing. He just did it silently. He tackled me silently. He broke my shoulder and smeared me into the concrete. And then I was on the streets then after a suicide attempt with a broken shoulder and a big fat belly, because I'd eaten 300 pills, and it screwed up my pituitary gland. It screwed up my hormones. I don't have testosterone anymore. It screwed up my body really bad. I've been fighting this belly and doing sit-ups all of my life. I used to do 110 sit-ups in front of my band to show them that I was really trying to get rid of my belly. But I mean, I couldn't get rid of the belly because I had attempted suicide, and I took 300 pills, and it was poisoning myself. And if you ever get poisoned near to death, you don't ever really walk away with it with the same body ever again. I've been poisoned damn near to death by myself, and and you don't really walk away from it. It fries your brain, it fries your body, it damages you, it leaves you soul struck and shell shocked, and you're kind of weird afterwards and kind of twitchy and fucked up. The poison does terrible damage to me. The poison was naproxen and Tylenol on LPMs, but it was still poison. It causes me jangly nerves and fucked up shit. That's all the shitty shit that happened just before I was 27, before I was 30. Then I went through a sexual revolution, and I slept with like 32 women or something like that. And it did cost me it cost my soul to live that frivolously and loose. And I think I kind of used some women, and I'm not very happy about that. But I mean, I did what I did. I wanted to go through a sexual revolution, so I did. I was like, all my friends, they can't even count on one hand how many people they've slept with. They can only count on two fingers. All of my best friends, I think all of them have slept with. Well, not my friend Jed. But everybody the fuck else that I know has had two partners. That's it. 2-3 partners. Their high school sweetheart, their marriage, and then the person that they got with after their marriage failed, right? There's like 3 people that all my best friends slept with. I couldn't stand that. I was like, I've slept with 8 people, and now I want to make it 40, or at least more. And I did. I went and chased it. It was hard. I was 300 pounds, and I was a meth addict, but I still slept with like 40 women. It was insane. Some of them were fat. Some of them were skinny. Some of them were hot. Some of them were not. But it was just like that. And that did drive a gap between me and my friends and I, because none of them had any sexual experience whatsoever. And that was something that I didn't have to worry about anymore. That was something they all worry about all of their lives, is that they won't get laid, or that they're incel, or that they're that they're not going to get married or not have kids or whatever. All my friends were panicked about that. My whole thing was will I still have my sanity and my life past the age of 27? I don't give a flying fuck about whether I'm a virgin or a loser or sex or any of that other stuff. My whole thing was I lost my virginity when I was 15, and to a 14-year-old girl, and I don't think the same. I don't have the same issues. I don't have those same problems. I never did. So now, that was all the way to the age of 30. I just described all the terrible horror stories that comprised my life until the age of 30. By then, I had caught a deferred adjudicated felony at the age of 17 for the possession of ecstasy. I caught a deferred adjudicated felony for selling weed to a cop outside Hydra party at downtown fucking East Colfax or whatever. I caught like 20 or so other like minor possession charges or shoplifting charges or whatever. Right? I was a booster and a drug addict, and I went through a lot of terrible shit. So then when I was like 35, I met the love of my life, and I decided that the only way I was going to be able to actually date her was either owning a mansion or living in 5-star hotels for the rest of our life, because she's kind of bougie like that. She's a little bougie like that. And so I chased that and pursued that. I became a drug dealer, and I dealt meth and heroin, and I drank alcohol with my friends for like 5 years, and I turned every last person that I knew into a fat, slovenly meth, not every last person, but close to, not my inner circle, but everyone else that I knew. The people that I crashed at their house, I turned their house into the flop house. I turned them all fat. I got them all addicted to meth and got them addicted to alcohol and totally drunk alcoholic meth addicts and stuff. Everybody that I knew. Every last one of my friends, if they weren't in my inner circle, I just corrupted them and turned them into this crazy thing. I don't know why I did this. I just was like that. And that's what happened between the ages of 30 and 35. When I was 35, I blacked out riding on a moped, and I smashed my head into the concrete. I lost 30% of my hearing in my left ear for about a year, and then I damaged my brain really badly, and I have what's called retrograde amnesia. And I have terrible memory loss and affectations. I'm autistic, and I can't look people in the eyes. I've never looked people in the eyes, so when they're my friends, they remember that they've had to ignore the fact that I've never looked them in the eyes my entire life, but they're still my best friends somehow, because they can see past all the problems and all the stupid ass shit that happened to me and all the things that I have to deal with. And this right here, I've attempted suicide twice in my life. My suicide notes, they sound like this conversation that I'm having right now, but I'm not suicidal, and I'm not threatening self-harm, and I'm not worried about that. I'm not been worried about that since I tried last time. Since I tried last time and the time before. I know that it's not a feasible path. I know that God won't let me go, or whatever you believe in, nature, or whatever the fuck. Allah will not let me go. Allah will not let me go. Even with 300 pills, Allah will not let me go. They will resurrect me. They will drag me through a pool of blood and stand me up and take me to the hospital and force me to deal with being trapped in the zone longer. And so I know I can't get out through suicide, so I don't try anymore. And that's all the shit that happened before I was like 37. Then I fell in love and dated a stripper. She shot up heroin that had A's and Hep C, and I've been with her for 2 years and 7 months. I would have married her, and she threw the relationship down the drain because she wanted to shoot up a rinse that had goddamn AIDS and Hep C. So I just got out of the car, I said fuck you, and I never spoke to her again. I talked to her sister, but I don't talk to her. That was in the last 10 years. Then I fell in love with Cloud Candy in the back of the coffee shop when I was living in a burnt-out restaurant, addicted to meth with no money to my name, $1 to eat on, and nothing, no hope, nothing, not even a cell phone. I didn't even have a cell phone at that time. I didn't have a cell phone for 7 years. I had a laptop and a fucking Wi-Fi card. That's all I had. I did not have a cell phone. That cost money. I didn't have any money. So... so I dragged myself up by my bootstraps. I was living in a burnt-out restaurant with a meth addiction and no money, living on food stamps and eating the pizza out of the dumpster next door, sexy pizza down the street from my best friend's house. I was living on old like pizza that was 1 or 2 days old and shit. It was crazy. And doing that, I caught celiac disease, which is a gluten allergy, because I was living off of sandwiches and ramen and pizza that I stole from 7-Eleven. And I caught celiac disease, so now I've got a lifelong autoimmune disease that I've got to deal with. So now I can't eat bread, I can't eat wheat, and I can't drink beer on top of it. And all this terrible shit, it just sucks. It goes from there. I lost Cloud Candy. I stole money from her when she was at her most vulnerable. I wanted her out of the situation that she was in, and I knew jacking her was the only way I was going to get her to leave, and she did, and I helped her. And she still probably thinks of it that way, but I just think of it as jacking her and fucking her over. That's probably what it really was. So now, her boyfriend catfished me, so now we don't have a friendship or a relationship anymore because I can't trust her to even speak to her because it might be her catfish boyfriend now. And I didn't ask for that, and she was mortified. She ended that relationship over that, which is insane because she had a child with that dude. But because of me, she lost her marriage, basically. My best friend, she lost her marriage and stuff because of me, and only because he wanted to catfish me, not because I ever did anything to them. I never slept with her. I didn't cause her to cheat. I didn't tempt her. I didn't send her gifts or anything like that. I sent her a pair of headphones when I learned that she didn't have any headphones. But I mean, that's the only gift I've sent her in 7 years was a pair of headphones, and $40 for her child's baby shower. She had 2 kids, so I sent $40 for her baby showers because I was acutely aware that everybody thought I was simping for this girl. But I mean, it wasn't about that. I thought she was the love of my goddamn life, and no, I don't send her a lot of gifts. All the other tool-ass men around her still send her a lot of gifts, even though she hasn't seen any of them in 10 years. I'm not like that. I don't send gifts and stuff, and when I do send gifts, it's because she's hanging out with me, talking to me, and not much, like $20-$40 or whatever. But because I sent $40, I now felt like that I was a simp and that I was just sending her money and that's all she wanted from me. So I ended that fucking friendship because I felt she was using me for little $40 gifts, little $40 gifts every 2 years or something. That's the only reason she was even speaking to me anymore. So I just moved on. I was like, I don't think when your boyfriend catfished me, I was just like, nah, fuck you. If you want this friendship to continue. She called me her best friend that day. I said, yeah, you're still my best friend if you call me on the phone and you talk to me and prove to me that you're not your catfish boyfriend. She couldn't do that because she was engaged to him, and she couldn't be talking to some other dude because she ended up being what I warned her the most not to be, which is a cliche. She ended up with 2 abusive dudes who abused her and cheated on her, and I told her, don't be that cliche. Don't get cheated on. Don't let them abuse you. Don't be normal. Don't date muggles. Don't have kids with muggles. That's all the shit that she did. She had kids with muggles. I met both of them, and they're fucking muggles. And like, she had kids with muggles, even though she's the most magically capacity person. She has the most magical capacity I've ever seen anybody on this planet Earth wield. Even crazy people like Robin Williams and stuff still don't have the riz that my fucking ex-girlfriend has. They don't have it. Not like her. No, she can command armies if she wanted to. But no, she just, ended up being a stereotype. She ended up being a white beaten, child-ridden, dating right wing as they cheat on her and beat the shit out of her fucking person. And I told her the one thing I couldn't stand is becoming a stereotype, And she did. She became a stereotype. So I lost her when her boyfriend catfished me. That the third time made me almost suicidal, but now I've recovered. It's been about a year. I've recovered. when I was 41, the piece of shit, cocksucker, brain dead, fucking failure ass cocksucker, piece of shit, brain dead, failure ass cocksucker, one of my 7 fixated fucking stream snipers threatened my family by sending SWAT people with machine guns to my fucking house. That's the biggest thing that's happened recently. Fucking shithead, fucking worthless ass cocksucking shithead can't even see that I've been raped and murdered by the fucking world. I'm not even alive anymore. No friends, no phone calls, no money, no hope, no nothing. And like just enough money to eat, that's it, you know? And I've got nothing left, and then so he's got to come and rape and fuck the corpse at the end of it. And that's the worthless pieces of shit that the internet has become, that I surround myself with. It's like, nah, fuck you. We all can see that you're the worthless shithead, not me. So then, you know, so that's where I am now today. I've got a catfish ex-girlfriend. I got a best friend who doesn't speak to me. I've got another best friend who's fucked up because he lost us. I've got a friend who killed himself after killing his father first. I've got another friend who hasn't spoke to me in 7 years who recommended that I go to the mental health facility. So I did. He like brought me to the mental health facility. He was like, if you want to be my friend, you have to go get some psychiatry. And I was like, okay. So then I did. I got psychiatry for 7 years. Ended up in a 2-year mental health facility that I never ever wanted to be in because I took my friend's fucking advice to go get a therapist. And I ended up in a fucking hospital jail for 2 fucking years because I did what my friend Daniel fucking told me to. And basically, like, he like coerced me. He like drove me to the mental health facility and he was like, you are not dealing with Jan's death well and you need to get some kind of therapy. It helped me and it'll help you. He was right, but he also forced me to do it. So I signed up to mental health facility to Denver, and in doing so, it ensured that I spent 2 years in the madhouse. And I lost 2 years of my life because I listened to his advice. And I did what he said. If I just continued how I was doing, I wouldn't have had to spend 2 years in the goddamn madhouse. But because my best friend coerced me to sign up to the mental health facility at Denver, I ended up in the madhouse for 2 years. I will never ever speak to him again. And he knows it. They all know it. When I was 39 years old, my best friend at that time was my friend Kyle. He shot a gun in his house, and because of me, I got him drunk and addicted. I didn't get him addicted to meth. I'm sure he did that to himself. But yeah, I got him drunk and I got him fat and I got him addicted to meth, or I was just on meth around him, so he ended up trying meth or something stupid. And he got fat, he got angry, and he got depressed, and he decided he didn't like his wife anymore, and he decided he didn't like his stepkids anymore. So he tried to blow his own head off in front of his wife. He got her up. He was drunk. He got her up out of bed. He woke her up out of bed. And I've heard the story a bunch of times from the family, from her, from fucking everybody. He got her up out of bed when he was drunk. He told her, I'm going to kill myself now. You got to fucking watch. And then he fired the gun through his goddamn cheek like a goddamn moron. And the bullet went into the fucking floorboards. And his stepkids were sleeping in beds downstairs. And they could have caught collateral damage from the bullet. Now they didn't. And he explained it. And I know that they weren't going to catch a collateral, but still, that's what could have happened. God loves idiots. God protected him, because the God that I know would have caused the bullet to go through his cheek, through the fucking floor, and kill his stepkid. You know, kill his stepkid. His wife stayed with him after that. I don't know why. Probably because he's fucked up or whatever. But she stayed with him while he was in jail. But as far as I know, they broke up, I think, now. And so so my best friend didn't like his stepkids. But I was like, I like the stepkids. They're friends of mine. I've known them for a long time. They're friends of mine. Just because they do drugs doesn't make them bad people. What kind of judgment is that? And he was like, they're shitheads. They steal from him all the time. Yeah, I know. They're 17-year-old kids. They shoplift and steal just like we did when we were that age. They're 17. They steal from stores, and they steal money from their fucking parents' wallets and purses and stuff. That's what 17-year-old kids do. You're judging them for that? I did not judge them. And he was like, oh, no, Kyle really hated his stepkids. I don't care if he hated his fucking stepkids. You don't fire off a gun in a house full of your wife and stepkids. You just don't do that. And I ended that friendship. That was my best friend. He spent 5 years in goddamn jail for firing off a gun in a house while he was on probation for DUI. He spent 5 years mandatory in fucking Denver County, or no, sorry, it was Arapahoe County. Fucking Arapahoe County. Fucking Arapahoe County. He spent 5 years in Arapahoe County. That's like spending 5 years in the 7th level of hell. I've been to Arapahoe, motherfucker. I've been to Arapahoe County. I know what it is. It's the 7th level of fucking hell. Denver County was a walk in the park compared to goddamn Arapahoe. Arapahoe is the forces of Satan rising on the earth. And if you don't know the name of it, it's called the Colorado Supermax is the name of that county. It's called the Colorado Supermax, and because the Colorado Supermax is there, all of the other jails and and the Arapahoe County Courthouse, they're hanging judges, right? Because they have the Supermax in their jurisdiction, so they're all hanging judges. If they hear that you got a speeding ticket or a drug violation or something like that, they're like, well, that'll be 10 years mandatory minimum sentencing for probation violation. And you're like, what? It was less than a gram of methamphetamine. What are you talking about? 10 years in jail. It's less than a gram of meth and a basic probation violation that I warned you about first. You know, I'm a drug addict. I slipped up and I warned you about that. Now, my ex-girlfriend, she slipped up and threw something like 55 dirty UAs over a 2-year period while she was on probation. She just kept throwing dirty UIs every week and just praying to the judge that they won't throw her in jail. They see a heroin junkie girl stripper on the streets and they don't want to throw her in jail. They think she's some prostitute, so they don't want to brutalize prostitutes. So they let her off on 35 fucking possession charges. I catch a single possession charge for less than a gram of methamphetamine, and they threaten me with 10 years mandatory minimum sentencing over a 4-year period in the middle of COVID. And the only reason they didn't throw me in jail was because it took 4 years during COVID to get to my court case. The only reason they were like, we're going to consider the 4 years of fear that you lived in as your time served. For, you know, you lived in fear of a 10-year mandatory minimum sentencing that we promised you we would give you when you violated probation. I lived in fear for 4 years. I lost my ex-girlfriend. I ended up in a 2-year mental health facility. That's the story of my goddamn life. If any of that darkness doesn't explain why I am the way I am, why I'm losing my best friends right now, why the damage is what it is. I don't know anybody with stories like this. The worst junkies I ever met on Skid Row, I would make them blush. You know what I'm saying? I have made them blush. I have made my friend Six. She was on the streets from ever since Hurricane Katrina. My friend Six was on the fucking streets as a crack meth addict, living on the streets of Denver since Katrina. She lost her Louisiana home, and she lost her family, and she fell to drugs, and she ended up being the queen of the Civic Center park scene, which is how I met her. I met this lady, and she was a good friend of mine, and I told her my stories. I was like, here's all of the stories over the last 25 years. She's like, you have a story. And I was like, yes, I do. And I was like, I don't want to tell you. And she's like, you should tell me. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to hear all the stories of all the people stuck on the streets. And I was like, yeah, I kind of like those stories too. Okay. So then by the time I got to the age of 35, she was full-blown crying tears. She was like, how do you make me cry when these junkies on the streets can't? And I was like, I don't know. I don't think any of them have had a dark life like me in terms of all this loss and this fucked up shit. The cops have leveled guns at my head several times. I've been held up at gunpoint like 7 times in my goddamn life. One of them was trying to rob me, you know what I'm saying? I've had 7 false assault charges filed against me. Every girl and every woman I've ever even known was raped. I'm sorry, not by me. Not by me. I always have to make that distinction, but it is true. Every fucking girl I've ever known in my high school, in my circles, every girl I've ever known has been raped. I fucking hate men, and I would wipe out every last swinging dick on the fucking planet. Yeah, you want to talk about male feminists? More like more like Scum Manifesto. You understand? I'm more like Scum Manifesto, if you know what that is. That's I forget the name of the lady, but she's the lady who shot Andy Warhol, and she was like in this like White Panther, like, oh, sorry, female Panther, not White Panther, but female Panther group in New York that was trying to get Andy Warhol to buy their art so they could fund their terrorist cell to publish their manifesto, which was to end the patriarchy, right? I want the patriarchy to end too. Every man I've ever met, except for my best friends, are complete, utter fucking hot garbage. Every last one of them. All of the fixated men that attack me on all these PvP games every day. Every last man that I've met, except for my friends in my inner circle, are complete and utter garbage besides my stepfather and a couple of other men that I know. And so, like, after all of that, like, sure, I'll lose the friendships. Go right ahead. This was an irredeemable life full of sorrow, pain, and fucked up shit. And it's like, you go right ahead and end the fucking friendship on top of all the rest of it. Please do. It's just another line of fucking bad news and a life full of bad news. It's good news for people who love bad news. Losing the last 2 friendships, right? When I lose Sen, I'm going to lose Jed. And when I lose Jed, that's the last one. I could talk to him about it, But we all know I'm that fucked up, feckless, worthless, fat piece of shit drug addict that fucked up everybody's lives and is completely irredeemable. Why should I care if I lose another friend? It's just, you know, like, it's probably better for him that we're not friends anymore. That's like how I feel. It's probably better for him. Probably better for my best friend if we're just not friends anymore. Because I can't bring this damage to anybody else around me. Nobody, I think, has ever been this damaged. I'm sure there have been. I'm sure there's rape victims, people that got murdered and stuff who got it worse. But I don't know too many living people with as many dark stories as me. You know what I'm saying? Now, none of this stuff happened to me, really. I mean, a lot of it happened to me, but a lot of it has to do with people around me, too. Oh, I took all that darkness. I fucking internalized it. That's what I do. I fetishize I used to. I don't do it anymore. But I used to fetishize my own sadness. Now I just resigned. I'm stoic and I'm resigned. I used to be like, oh, I'm so sad all the time. I'm going to go sing sad grunge music sang by Leadbelly or Kurt Cobain or whatever. I'm going to sing sad Soundgarden songs now. But I don't even do that anymore. I don't even fetishize my own sadness since Bojack taught me not to do that. Now I just accept the loss. And I'm like, well, there's another lost friendship in a line of 900 lost friendships. Should I cry about this one more than the others? I think I should, because they're my best friend of all time. You know, this one's my best friend of all time, but I doubt I could even get them to speak to me anymore. Why? Because I did drugs and I was a thief? I guess, yeah. That's probably a good enough reason, yeah. That's probably a good enough reason, yeah. You know, the stone that the builder refused shall be the head cornerstone. I'm living that fucking psalm. I'm living it. Every time life refuses me again, kicks me down to the streets, or ends another fucking lifelong 25-year friendship, or fixates on me and stream snipes me or attacks me or bullies me or whatever, I just think, well, there's humanity for ya. That's who they are deep down inside. Worthless pieces of shit that just bully each other. That's who they are. That's what they are. Not me, but everybody the fuck else except me and my inner circle. Everybody I've ever met is basically bullies. I listened to my mother bully trans people for an hour tonight. And I was just like, why should I put up with another bully in my fucking life? Why should I put up with another bully? You know, I almost sent her the text message being like, if you ever talk shit about trans around me ever the fuck again, I've got too many trans friends. I think about my friend Andy. Andy's a good dear friend. You know what I'm saying? I think about my friend. I got two friends. I got two trans friends named Andy. They're trans Andys. You know what I'm saying? And they're wonderful fucking people. And I like both of them really a lot. You know, understand? And I will not. And that's just the two people that I remember in the last 5 years. I've had many trans people in the punker scene that were my friends. I've had many trans people on the street who were my friends. There was a trans gay man. He was the first one who ever got me high. Like there, you know, like I've had lots and lots of trans people in my life, and I just will not. I will not diminish I will not marginalize these people. I will not treat them differently. I will not back anybody who does, not even my mother. And it's not just trans people, it's every marginalized fucking group in humanity. I've been bullied all of my goddamn life, so I do not have the tolerance, you understand? I don't have the tolerance for bullies against trans, against black people, against people of color, against poor people, or disabled people. I just don't do bullying. I just don't do it. You know what I'm saying? I'll bully the bullies, fucking stupid ass piece of shit, cock-sucking efforts. I'll bully the bullies, but that's it. That's the only fucking bullies that, you know, that's the only bullying that I will, you know, that I will condone. And that's where I'm at now. I take a look at that and I'm like, well, I'm surprised I lasted as long as I did with my best friend as it is, you know? When my other best friend shot his father and then himself a second later, I think that's actually when the friendship ended. It's just we're too nice to admit it, I think, you know? That's like literally what I think. We're just too nice to admit it. But yeah, the friendship ended. My fucking stupid ass piece of shit cocksucker retard fucking best friend Jan, he had to shoot his father and then himself a second later, and it detonated Jed's life, it detonated Daniel's life, it detonated Sen's life, it detonated everybody's fucking life. It detonated everybody's fucking life. Everybody's life went down the shitter. Everybody got to be 350 pounds. Everybody got to be drunk. Everybody got to be depressed and fucked up. All the siblings, everybody that we knew. We internalized the damage when it happened. All of us. Or we were doing it even before that. We were doing it even before that, just being drunk, slovenly drug addicts or whatever. We were doing that before that. So at that point, I'm just like, no, I lost this one. I lost this friendship, I think. Hopefully I keep it. Maybe in 5 or 10 years, he feels differently, maybe, you know, I hope. But if I was him, I'd stay the fuck away from me, too. Also, he lent me $11,000 to pay rent when I was trying to chase being the world's best priest in the world, you know, on World of Warcraft for like 2 years. He paid my rent. So now I owe him like $11,700, and I think about that every single day of my fucking life, but I've never had $11,700. When I was a drug dealer moving weight, you know, moving like 36 8 balls a day, that's still only 36 8 balls at $100 a pop, you know? That's still only $3,600 a day. I've never, ever, ever had $11,000 in one place at one time, or I would have paid my best friend 20 fucking years ago. And I blame America. I blame the politicians. I blame the 2 political parties. I blame every job I've ever had. I blame all the people that attack trans all the time. I blame the right wing. I blame everybody but myself. I know it's my fault. But I mean, I blame everybody the fuck else, because I did work all my life. I've got no money. I did work. I did some form of work, whether it was selling drugs or hustling or shoplifting or being a cashier or being a taxi driver. I worked all my life since I was 14 years old. I've been clocking paychecks. I even brought my best friends to the places that I worked and gave them jobs at 5 different places that I worked. I even got my friends in on it. That's one of the reasons that I know that I don't have to prove that I worked all my life. I brought all my friends to all the jobs that I took, you know? I kept the flop house, and I needed them to have money so they would stop like, you know, eating all my food and drinking all my beer and smoking all my weed. So I just, you know, not like I had any money for weed or alcohol either. So it's like when they smoke my weed and drink my alcohol and eat my food and sleep in my house and use my power, like that's, you know, that's not so good when you're living off of $2,000 a year. That's not so good, you know? My best friend was sympathetic to it. He actually did like loan me money for rent because he knew that it isn't cheap to keep the flophouse running for fucking years. I know he knows, you know? So, yeah, and so here we are. Like, that's all the dark, stupid shit that are just the bullet points. Then we could get into all of the other stuff, the systematic suppression. There was that time when I was 33, I caught when I was 37, I caught a burglary charge, dropped down to a trespassing charge, dropped down to a theft charge, because I didn't actually steal anything. I was there to find my cat, and I broke a window to get in. And they leveled 3 different felony charges at me. They dropped it down eventually to petty theft, and that's what I have now today. But I mean, that was another probation violation, so then I had to do 5 more years of probation, which meant doing drug tests every Wednesday, paying them for the drug tests, thousands of dollars to pay them to take the drug tests and all this. And just because, you know, that one thing. So then, after I got caught trespassing / burglary / petty theft, whatever you want to call it, it's all the same thing, and it boiled down to a petty theft charge because I didn't steal anything, but it was felony trespassing, felony burglary. I'm basically a burglar. I'm a burglar, you know. I don't like admitting that, but I'm a burglar. The only reason I didn't catch a burglary charge is because I didn't steal anything. I was there for information, you know. I really didn't steal anything. I promise. I'm heart and soul. I didn't steal anything, you know. I really didn't take anything. I was there to find my cat. It's the goddamn truth. But they still leveled a 10-year probation violation, mandatory minimum sentencing in Arapahoe County against me for that. Or sorry, in Denver County for that. And on the way down from the house that I broke into, they rough rided me because they didn't like me. I don't know if you know that. I didn't even know what that meant until years later. I didn't know what rough riders were or rough riding was until it happened to me. They broke the person that caught me doing the burglary. I submitted to a citizen's arrest because I didn't want to harm him. I wasn't there to steal from him. I didn't know him. I didn't like that I harmed him or trespassed against him. I told him I would pay for the window. I would take the charge. I would face him in court. He could citizens arrest me. I wasn't there to harm him or scare him or terrorize him. I wasn't there to steal from him or anything like that. I was like, I'm here for my cat. I'm sorry. I had to breathe this out through a broken rib because the minute that I submitted to the citizen's arrest, he was was heavier than I was. He was like 400 pounds, and he tackled me and sat on my ribs. I just put my hands in the air and I was like, I submit to a citizen's arrest. And he was like, all right, because I'm tackling you anyways. And I was like, you don't need to harm me. And he was like, don't harm me or I'll kill you. And he tackled me, and then he sat on me and he broke my ribs. And it was the most pain I've ever been in, and I think in my whole life it was close to it. The wisdom teeth were worse, but the broken ribs during that time was the worst pain I've ever been in my life. I was hyperventilating and screaming when the cops got there. I was screaming for help. I was like, call 911 to the neighbors. I was like, I was the burglar who got caught, but I was screaming to the neighbors, call 911, call 911. I need an ambulance. I've got broken ribs. You gotta call 911. And so what did the cops do? They didn't even know me. They know that I didn't even steal from the guy. I was there to find a cat. They knew it because they went through my backpack. They didn't find anything. They're like, why did you break into this guy's house? You didn't steal anything. And I was like, I'm here to try and find my cat. I used to live here, and I came back to get my cat that I traded to my old roommate. And they're like, that's the stupidest, most fucked up, shitty story I've ever heard out of a criminal. It's got to be a lie. And I was like, no, that's not a lie. I came here looking for my goddamn cat. I don't lie to anybody about anything. I do, but I used to, and I'll lie to spare people's feelings. Like, I didn't fart just now or something, but I won't lie to them about anything big at all. I'm just not willing to do it. It never ever goes well. So what did they do? They threw me in the back of a paddy wagon with broken ribs, and they rough rided me to 5 different prisons over a 2.5 hour period. I lost my sanity that day. That was the day I lost my sanity. I believe that was when I went full-blown crazy, when they captured me, even though I submitted, and I took the citizen's arrest, and I let him tackle me, and I let him break my ribs, and I sat there, and I talked to the cops, and I was like, I didn't steal anything from him. The worst you've got me for is breaking a window and looking for something inside. It's maybe a trespassing charge at best. And I was like, and I submitted. So how did they thank me? They bounced me around in cuffs, and the cuffs were in front of me. It would have been better if they were behind me, because I could have just at least sat on the cuffs and maybe not bounced around, but they cuffed me in front of me, and they bounced me around in the paddy wagon with no chain or any kind of securement at all, and they Guantanamo Bay tortured me for 2.5 fucking hours while they took me to 5 different inner city prisons. And this was the worst treatment I've ever received from a human being. There's been a lot of shitty shit like that, but this is the worst one. And yes, I would kill those police officers. I would blow up the goddamn Jefferson County fucking courthouse or whatever it was, Jeffco courthouse or whatever it was. That's Arapahoe. That's Arapahoe. I would blow up the Aho courthouse. I would kill those cops that did that. I really do have that kind of rage and anger in my goddamn heart and soul. And on top of it, almost in the same county, but not quite, a couple of counties over, my best friend at that time, she had been raped by a police officer whose jurisdiction was in Littleton, and left to die in a dumpster as she raised the child, because she didn't believe in abortion, as she raised that raped child, and the cop knocked out her front teeth. And she was addicted to meth because of all this. She was a normal, beautiful girl before this happened, but because she was normal and beautiful, the cop abducted her, raped her in the middle of the night in a blizzard in fucking Littleton, Colorado, in downtown they call it Old Littleton, in downtown Old Littleton. She took me to the alley and the dumpster, you know what I'm saying? She was like, help me get through this, and I was like, okay, and she had me take her to the fucking alley and stuff. She's like, there's the dumpster. He fucking raped me in the cop car, and then he tossed me in the dumpster and left me naked, broken, and bleeding to die in the dumpster. Now, I don't like telling this story to you because you guys still have souls probably. But I mean, that's another soul in the long line. Sorry, that's another story in the long line of stories that have cost me my fucking soul. And it's why I'm okay with throwing away all my friendships. It's why I'm okay with never speaking with humanity ever again. It's why I'm okay with threatening to blow up the goddamn pigs and their fucking courthouse and all this other shit, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, if I lost my best friend today, I understand. I wouldn't be friends with me either. I'm a walking disaster, a fucking twisted, neurotic ball of neurotic fucking self-induced and or torture fucking damage from other human beings who won't remember my best friend's name in the end. Probably by the age of 60, I'm not going to remember my best friend anyways. I'm so brain scrambled and brain fried and goddamn drug fried that honestly I can't remember my own character names, much less my best friend's name. Sometimes I struggle with it. When I think of my best friend, I come up with his call sign faster than I do his real name. name, which is insane. I'm sure that's some kind of insult to him, but it's just all of the terrible ass bullshit that I dealt with, you know? When I was young, my father, he like came charging across the goddamn yard. He forced me to shovel snow for 45 minutes before school. And I was like freezing to death out there and getting frostbite and stuff. And I was also just too autistic and too, like, you know, too attention deficit to actually shovel the walk. I just couldn't do it. So he came charging across the goddamn yard. He knocked the fucking shovel out of my fucking hands and used his knee to knock me up against the wheel well. And then he leaned down into me in a fucking hole in the snow. He knocked me into the wheel well where the snow was, right? Because I was digging the driveway too slow for him. So he knocked me off. I was only 7 years old. He knocked me off my goddamn feet and knocked me into the wheel well. And then he leaned into me, this 6'7" man who weighed 350 fucking pounds, and he leaned into me into the wheel well, and he screamed in my fucking face that I wasn't moving fast enough. You know, that was the first time. Then 2 years later, he took a television the size of, oh, I don't know. Think like in Rust, it would be like the electric furnace. Like it was a small television. It was like the size of, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something comparable. I'm trying to think of the size of the television, like something comparable. It would be a basketball. It was the size of a basketball. That's about perfect. Yeah. My father threw a television at my mother that was the size of a basketball. He just picked it up. He just ripped it out of the fucking wall while I was standing there and fucking chucked it at her goddamn head and started screaming at her. Now, he missed, thank God. But, I mean, that was the last time I loved my father. You know? It was already damaged when he knocked me into the wheel well and screamed into my fucking face and terrorized me for fucking 2 whole minutes and then beat me with a belt. That's the end of the wheel well story too. He beat my ass with a belt. He bent me over his knee in the middle of the snow, in the middle of the fucking blizzard, because I didn't shovel his walk fast enough at the age of 7. And he took a fucking belt buckle the size of a softball and a belt that was as thick as a fucking, you know, as thick as a pencil, and he took a belt the size of a pencil. It was like that fucking big, and a belt buckle the size of a softball, and he fucking gave me 20 lashes on my fucking ass for not shoveling the snow fast enough for him. You know, and ever since then, and then when he threw the television at my mother's head, I no longer loved him, but I no longer liked him, but I still loved him. But then, and then a couple of years later, in a motel room in Huntington Beach, it was close to the end, towards when the last time I ever saw him, and he was this completely drunk, completely fat, terrible piece of shit that had completely lost control of his life. And he was like, I'm leaving forever. And he went to go leave, and my mother was like, stop him now. We're never going to see him again. I was like, stop him? And she was like, yeah, stop him. He's too drunk to drive. He's going to kill somebody. And I was like, okay. And so I stood in front of the motel room, and I was like, you can't leave. You're too drunk to drive. It'll be our fault if we let you leave, if you kill somebody. And I was like, I'm not letting you leave. And he's like, get the fuck out of my way. You're fucking 11 years old. Get the fuck out of my way now. And I was like, no, I'll have to fight you, I guess. And so then I did. I fucking physically restrained my drunk ass father when I was 11 years old. At that time, he was 375 pounds and 6'7". I was like 125 soaking wet and 11 years old or something like that. I took on somebody triple my fucking size, which is why I can't back down to any stream snipers or any bullies ever. I can't ever back down to them. I didn't back down to him. I'm not backing down to them. But they put me in that situation all the time where I have to remember why I don't bow down or kowtow or capitulate to any piece of shit cocksucker bullies. Never have, never will. You understand? Now, I might throw the base away because the situation is untenable. I might throw the relationship with my father away permanently, forever, because the situation is untenable. I can't continue on in that way without losing further relationships or time or money or getting my ass beat or bullied or whatever, right? So I just ended the relationship with my father the same way I throw the goddamn base away. It has nothing to do with them. They call it a win. I call it a loss. It's humanity being loser-ass pieces of shit. It's an actual loss. It's a net loss for everybody. These bullies, the shit that they do, the things they say, the way they act, from my father on down to Donald Trump and everybody the fuck in between. You know? So if I lost my best friend today, I understand. I have absolutely toxically induced every last negative thing that has happened to me in the last 25 years, and I used it like a drug to fuel my fucking anger all of my fucking life. And honestly, I'm just not a good person to be around anymore. Even my mother knows it. I'm not a good person to be around anymore. That's why I took a stream, because I knew it was one way. I didn't know it was one way when I started, but I loved that it ended up being a one-way thing. It's a one-way street for me, because I can't deal with humanity in any way or fucking form. I don't care what they want. I don't care what their damage is. I don't care if they want to bully me. If you want to bully me, you're the worst hunter ever born, because I'm the worst target ever born. You know I don't fight back. You know I'm a pacifist. I don't fight back. I don't rage you. I don't do anything. You're just some worthless piece of shit, feckless ass, low IQ, cocksucker ass bully who just bullies people all the fucking day. Bullies trans, identifies right wing, bullies people on the fucking internet, stupid ass piece of shit bully, just like my fucking father can suck a dick and die for all I care, and I would kill them myself if I could.
Playing with someone.
So there we go. That's all I have to say about this. So if I lost my best friendship today, it wouldn't surprise me. Maybe we can fix it, or maybe in 5 or 10 or 20 or 30 or 50 years or something. You know, maybe when I'm like 90, maybe we can resurrect that friendship long enough to have a 5-minute conversation. But as it is right now, it's way, way better if humans just stay the fuck away from me forever. That's all I have to say about this. On that positively wonderful note, I'm gonna stop talking about this now. I'm terribly sorry for all the negativity, but it's like, you know, you want to bully me. You think all these stories are lies. They're not lies. You came to rape a corpse. You're just a bully that came to rape a corpse yesterday. You're a bully that came to rape a corpse yesterday. You're the worst piece of shit on the fucking planet, verifiably so. It's why I publish it, to show the rest of humanity that you are the worst piece of shit in goddamn fucking history short of Hitler. Because you're bullying somebody who's been raped to death. Fuck you, you fucking asshole. Fuck you. I've been raped to death, you understand? Not raped, but I've been beaten to goddamn death in every way. I haven't been raped to death, but I've been beaten to death. Everybody ever known, you know? It's insane. It's just insane. So leave me the fuck alone. I'm not your guy. I'm not the droids that you're looking for or whatever. I'm not that guy, motherfucker. I'm not it. I'm not it. I don't need your fucking bully, piece of shit, cocksucker, loser asses fucking failing over and over and over again, trying to bully some fucking victim. Go bully a victim more, you stupid ass piece of shit cocksucker. Fuck you. And I would kill you if you ever show up on my land or anything like that. I'll fucking kill you, you understand? I'll fucking kill you. Don't you ever come in my personal life either. Don't you ever come around. Don't you ever come around. I'll fucking kill you. No hesitation, nothing. And I'll break every bone in your body first before I do it. I've never harmed a living thing, so if you continue to bully me, motherfucker, I will IP trace you, and I will show up at your fucking house, and I will kill your fucking ass, you understand? You can't hide from me. The VPN can't do it. I know how to crack VPNs. I've done it before. I can crack Wi-Fis and VPNs and all types of shit like that. I know your IP and your fucking name, so understand. It's not some fucking game to me. You keep fucking with me, I'll fucking kill you. I'll fucking kill you, you understand? It's not some game to me. You come to rape a corpse, I'll kill you and call it a fucking favor to humanity. You've come to rape a corpse, fucking shithead bully. Come rape a corpse more, you fucking shithead. I'm dead from life, I don't need you. Did the 50 things I just listed not enough? You need to add to the fucking pain or whatever? Suck my dick, worthless, faithless, honorless, worthless pieces of fucking human shit. Suck my fucking dick, bully pieces of shit. Suck my dick. This goes for Trump too. I don't hear anybody talking shit about trans. I don't hear about anybody talking shit about stalking me or fixating or showing up in my personal space or any of this stupid ass shit. I don't want bullying. I don't want right-wingers around me. I don't want the Republican Party. I would kill every last one of them if I could. I think of them as traitor fucking Nazis, rapists. They're all the same thing. Republicans, Nazis, and rapists. All the same thing. I'm sorry, was Jeffrey not proof? Or the Trump city rolls with? Republicans, rapists, and murderers are all the same thing. Same premise. Same problems. Same war. Same rape. Same murder. Same anger. Same fucking stupid-ass right-wing cocksucker bullies. Bullying people as usual. That's all I have to say about this. So if I lost another friendship, okay. It's way better if I'm not around you. You can't heal the damage the worthless ass piece of shit humanity did to me. You can't heal it anymore. It's a lost cause. This is why I'm on disability. This is why I spent 2 years in the madhouse. It's why you should keep bullying me. It's because all these terrible things keep happening to me, so you should add to it. You should keep adding to it. You fucking stupid piece of shit, cocksucker, fucking bully-ass cocksuckers. I'll fucking kill you, I promise. I'll fucking kill you if I ever see you. I promise. I fucking promise. I'll fucking kill you, you understand? I don't care what they say. You continue to bully me, I'll fucking find you and I'll fucking kill you. You continue to bully me like all the rest of the fucking people in fucking history in my life, I'll fucking kill you, you understand? Not kidding. I've had enough of bully-ass pieces of shit. I'll fucking kill you, you understand? I don't care what anybody says. I'm done with the fucking bullies. You keep at it, I'll come find your fucking ass and I'll kill you. I mean it too. Leave me alone to die, bloody corpse in the gutter. Stop raping a corpse, you stupid shitheads. Stop fucking raping a corpse. Stop doing it. This goes for the government and Trump too, and the drug war. Stop raping dead corpses, you shitheads. Stop raping dead corpses. Okay, now we're actually done. I got the cathartic stuff out. I threatened everybody. I threatened to kill everybody as usual who bullies me all of my goddamn life, from the government to the stream snipers to my father to the pieces of shit to all the fixated stream snipers and all the stupid ass shit. Suck my fucking dick and I'll kill you if I ever see you. Don't make the mistake of showing up in my personal life. I will fucking strangle you to death after I break every goddamn bone in your fucking body. And I mean it too. I'll take all the anger from all the other bullies and I'll focus it on just you. Just you, you understand? I've been very tempted to do that, like, lately already. You know, I've been very tempted to do it. I could just track this motherfucker, catch him, show up. You understand? Show up right at his fucking place, you know? But no. I'm not like him.
Talking permission requested.
I'm not some piece of shit bully. All I can do is threaten to defend myself with lethality.
Docking request accepted.
I'm sick of fucking bullies. Right-wing bullies, presidential bullies, fucking paternal bullies, fucking piece of shit-ass fucking like fair weather friends and problems, fucking piece of shit-ass fucking like bullies like everywhere I go. Can't really handle it. I'm breaking the bully cycle. I'm just not putting myself around these people any longer. Maybe even my mother. If she talks shit about trans around me ever again, I'll probably stop talking to her too. I'm fucking done with fucking bullies. Fucking done with them. I don't care what right-wing retardation caused them to be this way. I'm fucking done with them. Everybody else says trolls. These aren't trolls, they're goddamn bullies. Trolls are people that make snide comments on forums. Bullies are people who actually show up in your life over and over again trying to make you have a bad time. There's a big fucking difference. These are not trolls. They are full-blown cyber bully criminals, and they deserve jail.
Next up, I want to talk a little bit about the tutorial.
Shitheads.
So they have this big tutorial set up to teach you the basics of the game once you fire it up for the first time. That was present in the alpha, and for the most part, I liked it. Now, you can click the tutorial just on your own, but when you go to start a new game, it will also flash up the option to start a tutorial.
So yeah, the last year of my stepfather's life, he was swatted by my bullies. Another reason to fucking kill them if I ever see them. This one's for you, Jerry. Please, give me an excuse.
Tutorial. And this is
I'm a lot more ready to deal with you than you are with me. I don't care what you show up with. Duct tape and sticks are probably the only thing he really wants. Present? Nope. That thing? Nope. What about high qual? Yep, but no. I think that's everything. Okay, let's go do a different video now. I've kind of lost my... Or no, let's hear what Mort has to say about Outward 2. I'm sorry for all the fucking anger, guys. If I hadn't been fucked with all of my goddamn life more than anybody else ever has, basically, I wouldn't act like this. I'm sure there's people who've been raped and have got it worse, you know? But, like, not too many, I don't think.
This is basically just a series of signs and the like that will, through the course of them, teach you the basics of the title and kind of how everything works and fits together, which should help, ideally, with that entry that I talked about with the original game, where it took a while for it to get going. With any luck, I think this tutorial that they've added will potentially make that just an easier process for people, so you can kind of get into it. Having played the original Outward, I think Outward 2 comes pretty naturally to me at this point, but there's a lot of good information there, and then you can get to actually starting your character creation. So character creation is split into two parts, more or less, which is the cosmetic side of things and the skills and abilities side of things. So first you start with the non-cosmetic portion, picking your starting zone. I've played previously in Haboob, but here we are in Simeon's Bastion, the major city of the heroic kingdom of Levant. After that, you're going to pick a background alongside a trait, and these are all going to modify your starting attributes, which are important. But then you get to the cosmetic character creation. Now again, this is still a work in progress, but it was more final, if you will, than the original alpha playtest. There's a lot more options, a lot more granular things you can get in there and mess around with, but there's still obviously a long ways to go, and I'm curious to see where the finalized version of this lands, because as much as I enjoyed Outward, like graphically it is not the most impressive game by any means, and I would be surprised if Outward 2 really shoots for the moon in that department, but we'll certainly see what happens. Now once you actually get dropped into Simeon's Bastion, the setup is a bit different. So in Haboob, in the alpha, you got gifted a house more or less, and then this turned into like a conspiracy where you're framed for a crime, and it was a really great like introductory quest. Now those aren't like the finished storylines, they're just kind of the thing that's meant to push you and get you out into the world. But if you do all that in Haboob, you wind up with like, you know, your own house and this little setup, and it was just like a really fun way to get into the game in my opinion. Whereas here in Simeon's Bastion, you start off being mugged and dragged to a hospital where you're healed up, but it turns out the people that mugged you took a bunch of your stuff and sold it to the local pawn shop, who will not give it back unless you pony up a bunch of cash, that kind of thing, which you only have a limited amount of time to do, which in and of itself is normal enough. However, the intention here is of course to get you talking to people, take on some of the quests that are available, like helping track down this relic for some guy who's been having trouble obtaining it, which leads you to a confrontation with some bandits who attacked the guy he had previously hired, that kind of thing, which was an okay quest. But just as a setup and premise, I liked it a little less than the Haboob starting section, so it looks like that's going to be my favored one, though to be fair, I have not seen the third one just yet. But in order to get better at combat and work your way up from being the victim of a crime, we do have some new progression stuff here. So
oh, look, I bought a skin. Oh, no, medium. Yeah, I got my first medium miasma skin, which is good. Active license and apply. Cool, maybe I'll give the other one to my alt then. Full. All these magazines weigh so much. Steel scrap? No. I was gonna dump it. Nuka-Cola Twist is pretty good. Plus 12 AP regen. No. 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 Maybe I do need that. I don't need that. Don't need that. Halloween candy, 1,800 of it. Fucking stupid. So... God, I wish I could put this somewhere else, like a fridge or something. But no. Well, let's dump all this stupid ass shit, I guess. Oops. Oh, no, I want strength, and I want, pack rat. I love that look. He's like, rah. Traveling pharmacy. Pack rat. That made it a bit better. 66 out of 210. Let's go hopped up on the food at least. Sort by value. $100 bubblegum is worth keeping, but it's heavy. Yeah, it's actually 100 pounds worth of bubblegum, which is insane. No, it's 25 pounds of bubblegum. That might be worth keeping. Wow, gumdrops just full-blown give you AP. That's crazy. I didn't know you could do that. I have to drop all this, don't I? Like all of it, pretty much, yeah. A shame. There we go. Now I'm out. Now I'm doing better. Maybe put some of these aids away. Much better. I just spent all this time dumping all that. But this hatchet weighs 3 pounds. Well, here, break it. I mean, that's worth keeping if I could. It's 40 pounds. But I mean, I don't know if I'll ever... I don't like popping items. Three Nuka Cherries is good for achievements and stuff. Here we go. All that stuff can go away. Ooh, blueprint effects. $16. No, I'm full with Mining Drone too, so how's that right? How does she have more room than me? Oh, because I have 3 extra mining drones here. I have to spend more money now, which is so annoying. Like a lot more money, but that's alright. I'm gonna get in the right clone. Oh, I have to do the hypernet before I can leave. I've got a lot of work I can do before I can go to Exordium. I'm gonna have to wait. Oh, I got a whole backpack full. Nice. Hi, kitty. Oh, are you hungry, kitty? Let's feed you, kitty. I'm sorry. Yeah, let's feed you, huh? Oh! Time to feed the kitty. Sorry about that. Yeah, you feel like you want some food? Might need those. Gotta buy high wall. There's nothing in my item hanger. I don't know if I believe that. There we go. Let's see. Okay, now we need this one. Oh, my headphones are dying. I have to fucking switch out. At least it's getting better about that. It's easier to do. I need to de-enlist. No, I didn't. Today's royalty rewards points are here. Wait, I got a $1.25 Xbox card for what? Playing games? Oh, playing games, yeah. A $1.25 Xbox gift card? Are you fucking serious? I would get points for playing Fallout a lot.
So we have the regular things where you'll eventually be able to go to trainers and learn abilities and skills in order to sort of master what that class is all about. But in order to get the most out of it, you're going to have breakthrough points. Now, this is where we get the exercises tab. The exercises tab is basically like a list of activities that you could accomplish in the course of playing the game, like crafting so many items, getting access to mana, which was actually not in the beta playtest, even though it was available in the alpha, by the way. You acquire mana and then the ability to, of course, cast spells and the like by going to a ley line to activate it. You cannot access that, best I can tell, from the beta version, but again, it was in the alpha. But basically, these exercises allow you to complete basic activities, and then you can choose to sort of learn that thing, and it will give you bonuses to your attributes and the like, making you stronger, and also potentially earning you those breakthrough points to utilize in the skill trees. And that's in addition to all the regular progress of doing things like gearing up and paying for better supplies, upgrading your backpack, because as a survival action title, movement is really important here. Knowing when to have your backpack and drop it versus combat, that kind of thing, is a big part of the overall experience, and expanding what that backpack can hold is a big deal as well, because you'll be doing things like using tents and lanterns and navigating a dangerous world that doesn't much care for you. Now, this region in Simeon's Bastion is also home to one of the factions, in particular the Menders, which will apparently have their own storyline in the full version of the game, but wasn't really available for this, so that was something. So outside of those things, it was mostly just exploring the zone and doing a few of the quests and stuff that were available and seeing what you could get up to. Overall, this zone is pretty big, and it goes from like swampy wetlands to high-reaching cliffs to ruins, and it's got quite a bit going on in terms of biomes. The enemies are pretty straightforward. It was mostly some basic animals, and then these bandits that were wandering around everywhere, and then a handful of other ones that probably shouldn't be fought. Sometimes discretion is the better part of valor, after all. It was a pretty fun time. Now, all of that stuff said, it's worth mentioning that as a beta, this was not exactly the smoothest of experiences. There were plenty of technical problems and bugs being found, and that's the kind of thing you can, of course, report via bug reports. And with this game launching into early access in a little over a month, I'm not exactly expecting any miracles between now and then, and I imagine early access will both be about bug fixing as well as incorporating player feedback into all of these systems, and hopefully making this game be the best game that it can be. But for today, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about with this one right now. I do think this game still has quite a ways to go, but it is getting there. I enjoyed this beta quite a bit, and I'm hoping that with player feedback in the early access period that this morphs into something really great and lives up to the potential that I think Outward sort of laid the framework for. Now, I'll be covering this when it goes into early access, and then we'll kind of play it by ear from there in terms of updates and the like. But for today, again, that is pretty much going to do it. Certainly hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, by all means, like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. But regardless of any of that, truly, just thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it.
That's odd. I think it closed my Fallout game when I went to load something. Aww.
May you wander in wisdom and have...
I don't think you talked about the combat almost at all, which is like, I don't know. This game's not looking that good to me. Gotta love all my magazines. Look how beautiful this is. It's better. How did I go? Like in one day, I did better on high risk for magazines than I did. Like it's because it's the loot doesn't matter, is why. All right, what else do we do here? I trade her 8 master at arms, and we're gonna diversify and haul each haul 8 master at arms here. Okay, she needs to worry about clones. That's going to be really fucking expensive, which sucks. I mean, there's nothing I can do. I don't think I want to come back to Jita. I mean, I do, but I guess, yeah, having a booster here would be good. Let's build a new clone, which is just a pain in the fucking ass. I can't believe I'm doing this. No, I could just plug in, huh? Yeah, I could just plug in, huh? So we want improved, is it? I think it's called improved, right? Improved. Oh yeah, cybernetic and processor. I need more money. I'm gonna just send her a bill, which sucks. 1,000,000,000,000. It's so much money. Oh my god. I don't know. I'm gonna run HyperNet. It will help. It will help with some of it, like these large-scale injectors. Yeah, Glentate hauler. No, I don't know. Why do I have that? Just sell it. All right, just open all these avatar crates if they won't sell them. Okay. Avatar, deck low, hunter, activate license. Nope, I already have it. So, oh, that's worth 34 million though. 9 of them. Worth 34 mil, huh? Wait, oh, 34 for all 9 of them, I see. So, no, they're 3 million apiece. Maybe I just better take the immediate, huh? 6 mil, I'll take it. I don't care. Okay, now, she'll have to... Oh, hi, kitty. You want to sit back on my lap? Yeah, come on. You always welcome. Buy one of these. Buy one of these. Ocular, social, hi, beautiful kitty. Okay, then we put her in alchemy. Wait, oops, alchemist. Biology 810. Oh my god, this was so expensive. And then, what else? I'm looking for alchemist and high wall. Okay, so plug in. Good. Now use a booster. Good. And then we'll run that in the Pioneer. What else can the Pioneer hold that's of value? Out there, I don't know what else I could bring, really. I'm gonna get in a, go for Pioneer. So these are going for $7.58 on the market or $7.20 buy. $8.39 is the lowest. I'd be okay with $8.20. Try and sell them for those. 88 hypercores is a lot. I thought I bought a lot of hypercores. No, I guess not. Oh, I want to go see Marquis Dragon's store. Oh, I bombed out of rust again. Good. Okay, here we go. Taking risk here. Doing a final flight check before I get out. Master at Arms, drones, Master at Arms, drones, they're both fit. Dangerous trip, but
Warp drive active. Warp drive active. Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
oh, I meant to put a micro drive. Yeah. Ooh, red present. Ooh, Brit's boomstick. High caliber revolver. Let's see what it does. Ooh. Shield compatible. What does that mean? It's boomstick. Let's see what it is.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
It fires rockets? I didn't get rockets, I got homing missiles. They're not the same thing. Here's 6. Oh no, that's MLS rockets. It's, I don't see real rockets in here, which is kind of annoying. That's a missile. Maybe the HV? Maybe the HV. What the hell? No, doesn't appear to be that. Must be real rockets, huh? Oops, what happened here? I'm sitting here. Go, go. I don't want to get scanned or anything. Go, go,
Warp
go,
drive
go, go.
active. Warp drive active.
Hey, I got enough for the T2. Nice. Oh, I have 7 T3s. I don't really need this T2. Stop, stop. I don't really need that. What I could actually trade. Ooh, 737. Oh, I believe I will have to cook that. Oh good, this will be fast. I am fucking around. I need to go. I'm gonna get ganked if I get scanned.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
In EVE Online, is it possible to scan your cargo? Oops. Why is it that every time I use you, there's some fuck up or some fucking software problem? Why are you like this every time I use you? Every single time. In EVE Online, is it possible to cargo scan without targeting someone? Oh good, okay. You know that you're being scanned, okay. Oh no, I might get killed here. We'll see.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
See, they can scan you down, no warning. And I shouldn't have shown my face here. Might die here and lose a lot of money, but that's okay. I should have looked at the Uedama Scout. Too late now. I have to cross through it in any event. It's late at night. It's a good time to do it. Okay, there is a camp, but we'll see how it goes.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
No, I don't think they have it. Okay, to scan the target, you can target them first without them knowing, but you can't actually cargo scan without the yellow box. So that's kind of interesting to know. Here's another really dangerous system. Let's see if we get through this one. They might be setting up the gank here. We don't know. Yeah, they could be. There's a Terra here, which is good. I don't want to give them time.
Warp drive active. Warp
Go,
drive
go, 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 go,
active.
go, 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 go. Some people just kill me on sight. I was very surprised I wasn't killed on sight on Uedama. Oh, good, we're done. Used a lot of wood, but we're done. Oh, good. 3,600 fuel. And 1,000 scrap. I should look down the tier 1 and tier 2 benches for stuff that I don't have, especially boat stuff. Boat stuff. Oh, the boat stuff there is good. I don't think there's anything else in the T1 chart that I need. No, I don't believe so. Hi, kitty. Oh, I love that kitty so much. Gonna need that stuff. Gonna need that stuff. I want that. I need that. Good. And then I want to go to the T3 chart and unlock that. How much is that? 60. That's cheap. That's cheap. Ooh, 120. That's even cheaper. How much is it? It's 20 high qual and 5 gears, huh? I've been saving gears. Hopefully.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
Oh no, I only need, what, probably 2 doors. Yeah, I need 2 doors, which will be 10 gears. I wouldn't mind the armor triangle ladder hatch because it actually does provide a really solid, good door protection. It's 180 for wooden ladder, 35 high qual, and 6 gears. I'm like running out of gears now. What does it take to produce a gear? Is it really expensive? Metal frags and scrap. How many gears did I manage to save? I don't see any for some reason. There's 3. I don't have any gears. Are you serious? I remember saving a lot more than 3 gears, but okay. Fucking annoying. There's 6 gears, yeah, so we could do what I need to carry out. Yes, okay, so... I'm gonna take that and that and that. I don't want to make a lot more heals in this. 10. And then I want to make... I want to make a boat, but I will need. I'm gonna put that away. I will need all the boat stuff, which is boat. Oh no, I need to buy in the tier 2 or 3 chart, I think. That everything, I think it is, yeah. So good. Right now I have 129 high qual, which is good. So, that's good. Oh yeah, I need gears for engines too, huh? I'm out of gears. Perhaps I should go inspect the price of gears at the auction or operating outpost. Wait, did I blow 1,000 scrap? I think I did. Yeah, I blew 1,000 scrap like it was nothing. Damn it. I'm going to have to farm more before I can do anything. That's alright, though. Need gears. Could recycle, I suppose. There's some high qual. Some pipes. Oh, kitty. Yeah, that's my kitty. Love her. Yeah, oh, there's even more fuel. I think I will... Oh no, I will not have enough gears at all. I won't have any amount of gears that I need, so I will have to go out and get gears. That will mean farming the road for a time. I will go to the outpost and do so. Yeah, I'll have to go get gears. Oh, I'm standing here. Oh god. I need to autopilot the last bit of this, I think. I don't think anybody's going to kill me in these
Warp drive
systems.
active. Warp drive active.
Oof. Hi. Hold on, let me sit up. Oops. There. Get on camera here. Yes, I will go farm now. Oh, go, go, go. I think I can autopilot the rest of this. Or I don't know. It's really too much to risk, really.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
It's all good. I built a good base so far. Oh, I forgot my thing. Ooh, what was that sound?
Warp drive active. Warp drive active. Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
how did he get this design? Oh, they're walls with a news design. I'm not seeing. That's cool. Oh, beautiful kitty. I put a suppressor on this thing? No, it popped is what it is. Or no, it's an LR with a suppressor, yeah. So, because I have the wrong gun. Four blueprint fags. Oh wow. Keep hearing an engine like it's on top of me. Oh, it's because it is. Every time the damn thing. Oh, this takes so long to scan through. Let's just scan down through BEILMNOS. So annoying. Psycho buff is good. Oops. We'll take 10 Radaway or 15 Radaway diluteds. Yeah. I think that should be good. Maybe medics. Yeah, medics are good. Could always pop this stuff. Yeah, like I'll be like medics. If I see a kill coming, I'll be like, oops. You won't let me? No. These are like new meds that I just picked up too, but you won't let me, which is so stupid. Okay, just favorite them. Yeah. C. Oops. C. Yeah, like 76 is overdue for a graphics overhaul, and I think it will be amazing if they do it. All these graphics, they're not bad, they're just low res. I think they built this game to like be ready for a graphics overhaul. I think they actually did it that way. Are the doors actually sitting in the frames? Because they don't really look like it. Maybe they finally did gravitate or whatever. Oops, wait, this greenhouse door is unlocked? No, it is locked. While it opens, you can't see the lock on it. Okay, 116 over 190. Oh god, I'm sitting here. Go, go, go.
Warp drive active.
Jump.
Warp drive active.
We're gonna make it. I just carried 2 billion worth of Master at Arms with me. I'm getting way better in the game than I used to be. And that's bad because to me, EVE Online is the last frontier. If I conquer it, it might really be bad because there's like not much else that challenges it. Rust or FFXI. Maybe ESO if played the right way. That is a storage cell level 1, a keycard with a medium level clearance. Oh, it's getting towards bed here. I suppose I should go back home. Ooh, RP. Okay, almost a manifest here, and I can go home, or go to bed, I mean.
Warp drive active.
Oh, my beautiful
Warp drive
kitty. Yeah, she's
active.
such a beautiful kitty. That's pretty, you're like following me. Stop it. Stop it. Kitty, you are clawing my leg. Stop clawing my leg. You annoying kitty. I will cut your claws. I'll cut them tonight. You want me to cut your claws? I'll cut your claws. You haven't been clawing me like that lately, so yeah, I'll cut your claws on. They got too long. Okay. She's such a smart kitty. She's like, I know you can fix my claw pain, so fix my claw pain. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't know they were too long for you. I don't, they're not my claws. I don't know if they're too long or too short. So her thing about it, her claws have gone too long, is she uses them on me. She doesn't use them when they're too short. She never ever claws me. But when her claws get too long, she starts fucking clawing my legs. Yep. And she's like, did you get it, master? And I'm like, yes, I did. She's such a smart kitty. She like trained me. Please, please, please. Oh, why won't you med? Oh, because I put them away. Damn it. That was a soldier? Okay, yeah, he hurt. It was fun to clear this whole place and, like, learn this. I wish I had been there at 76 launch, but it wasn't good at launch. One jump from manifest. Don't gank me here. Don't gank me here.
Warp drive active. Warp drive
Okay, going
active.
in. Nice. Safety went to green. Yeah, we made it.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
Not the soldiers you're looking for. Squeaky floorboard, sudden death. Squeaky floorboard, sudden death. Getting the drop on communists. Getting the drop on communists. Bushes, boxes, and beehives. Camouflage special.
Docking permission requested.
Beehives.
Docking request accepted.
Tumblers today. Bobby pimps. More effective than lockpicks. Confessions of a housebreaker.
Docking
Open any
permission
lock in
requested.
5 seconds
Docking
flat.
request accepted.
Whistling in the dark. Tiptoe through the tulips. Live and love. You won't believe was something or another. Fabulous first issue. Lifelong best friends. So I came here to dump Master at Arms here. And then I want to sell them, maybe sell them for 100. Well, let's view market details. What are they for sale here? There's none. So let's sell some. Let's make it look like we're competing, but we're not. So immediate, but 3 months. I want to sell these for $8 at 100 mil. Piece 10. I can't see. This is too small. That looks like 10 mil. $800 million-esque minus. Oh yeah, I don't care. I just want to set the price here. I want to sell 10 for 100, 8 for 100, or 8 for 90, and see if the 90s sell. No, I'll just match it, I think. We'll put 7 up and we'll keep 1 for the next booster, so I have like 5 days to see if I make sales, and yep, we don't sell these. 3 months. 6 of them at 100. Oop, 99, 99999. Let's see if we sell those first. That right? Yep. And we look like we're competing with each other, but I don't think we are. You go ahead and buy Master at Arms here. I know there's some rich newbies here. And I know that they need this. I should bring a bunch of level 1 Augs out here. So cool. Look at all these magazines I got today. It's been such a good day. Okay, where are we now? I am almost full. Oh, leather. You do buy leather, huh? Oh. So I should save the leather. Oh, yeah. Wow, leather's actually worth something, huh? Okay. Good to know. Oh. I hate the sound of the engines. I kind of want to separate them. Let's see if I can put down any more turrets before I go. I'm going to go to dead soon. Defense, turrets. Shopping turret. Missile turret. Odd. Did somebody break my turrets? I wonder which way is first. I think it's probably that. Okay, I got a working missile launcher out there now. I believe we'll stop here. Been nice to hear the Fallout soundtrack, but tomorrow I will not turn it on. Because one of the things that used to annoy me about Asmongold is for a period there, for like 2 years or 3 years, you would tune in to any one of his videos and there would be crappy Skyrim music playing or crappy World of Warcraft in music playing on all of his videos. And after a while I got so sick of that. But it took a few years before I noticed and started to be annoyed by it. But so I think you can probably get away for a while, but I think there's going to be a point where I pretty much phase, unless it's a brand new game and I'm trying to hear the soundtrack, I pretty much phase soundtracks out of my life completely, because it does, I have this nervousness about it having to do with, like, if anybody's watching the stream, does my music overpower their music, you know? And that's not something I actually really want to do. Although I think the video game music should be respected and listened to and observed and played in public for the people that are watching the stream and stuff. I do respect it, and I do think it should be respected. So, you know, so sort of like the music should be played from time to time. I play the Rust music even though I'm fucking sick to death of it. Occasionally, like every time I play a wipe, because it's like the soundtrack's so good and I don't like do it that often. Usually I have a YouTube video. That might even be more disruptive. Sometimes I think about, like, one of the things that happened to Asmongold was he stopped playing video games. Like, he plays video games when there's new ones, but he doesn't play them all day every day anymore. And that's because he's just on Twitter engaging in the political debate. And that's a good place to be when you know, when that happens. But also, you know, I think there's something to be said about detuning and just listening to some video game music and doing a video game session for a long time, like once in a while. I think. And so, you know, and now you don't hear the music in the background anymore, I don't think. Because he realized, I think after like 5 years, he realized that the music really does annoy people. They've all been hearing it for like 15 years. And while it's okay probably for a couple of years to do, if you do it all of your career, it starts to get really, really annoying. And really, really played out and really, really predictable. And also, it's not your music. It's Jeremy Soul's. So in a way, you're kind of... like, after, especially if you start making money, I'd be very nervous. Like, if I was Asmongold, I'd actually be sort of nervous about streaming Jeremy Soul's music, because yes, it's free, kind of. Yes, it's on the video games, but you didn't make that fucking music. So if they wanted to, they could technically be like, well, you're not playing the video game, but yet you're playing my soundtrack. That's like, you should maybe pay me royalty or a DMCA you. I could see them, really big ones like Asmongold, getting DMCA'd over that, because if they're not playing the video game, they pretty much are just taking the soundtrack to, like, you know, to enrich their lives and their stream, and they're not even respecting the video game by playing it at the same time. That's why it bothered me so much. I was like, I'm okay with WoW music when you're playing WoW, but when you're playing WoW music but you're talking about Hassan Piker or something like that, it doesn't fit, and it's obstructive, kind of. But I don't think it's that bad to listen to the Fallout music. I think it's the best suite ever made for a video game. I don't think it's that bad, but I don't want to do it every fucking day. I'm definitely not doing it tomorrow. Because it's like, I listen to the 76 soundtrack pretty much all day today. Another thing I noticed that is the soundtrack's so good, I'm actually okay with just listening to the soundtrack like all fucking day and not actually doing what one of the things is advertised in my stream title, which is lots of YouTube videos. And sometimes I feel like I get through the whole day. Like today sort of felt like that, sort of. Like I struggled to watch one YouTube video today, and that's what's in my channel title, which is like, you know, games and YouTube videos. So, but I don't always deliver on that. I think I would maybe do a little better if I was just watching lots and lots of streamers all the time and just putting like really mindless games like this in the background, not playing the music and not getting engaged in the politics. I probably could do better than I do. You know, but I engage in the politics. I yell at the right wing. I alienate them. I don't want their rapist, murderer, piece of shit, worthless, fucking financially and fucking morally corrupt asses like fucking with me or my stream or anybody in my country or anything like that. That's how against the right wing I am, and I will not curb that. And I know it alienates gamers because most of them are idiot ass right wingers. So it's like, you know, so. You know, so I think about that. I'm like, I don't care about alienating people, but I do care about becoming sort of typecast and having 76 music running for months on end. I don't really want that. Yeah, I don't want to be like known for stuff like that. I don't really want to be famous for that. So here's a new suppressor. Maybe I should switch out. No, I can stack them up. Nice. Well, I've been farming right good. I got quite a lot here. I've got 70 high qual and 500 scrap. That's pretty good. And I have to recycle before I can go further. Let's go back to the outpost. Hi, Kitty. I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you for getting off my legs because they're kind of losing circulation a bit. I don't think she likes how much I move when I talk. I love my kitty. Thank you for sitting with me tonight. Are you feeling better? I think you are. You're in a much better mood. I think you're healing slowly. The thing on your cheek is gone. The pain on the pain in your cheek is probably gone at least. Or at least the open wound is gone. One booster, Exordium Regionals. I want to look at this on the market, make sure I did this all correctly. How can I be the only one here selling Master at Arms? But hey, if you want to buy them for 100 mil, you can. It'd be funny if I logged in and all 15 of them have sold. And I'm like, oh my god, I made 1.5 bill off 700 mil worth of Masters. Exordium is cool like that. I'm looking forward to mining with these Pioneers in the morning. Because I have good-ass Pioneers sitting right here. They're, actually pretty good. I don't need these Hobgobs yet, so I'm going to leave them here because I don't want them popping out when I hit my drone button. I don't need them. Okay, tomorrow I mine Exordium on my mains. I may not even need those alts that I made. I didn't really think about that, but I don't really need those alts. I might as well just train my main again. Although I would like to get them to the point where they can fly Venture and Pioneer, because that's the moneymaker out here. And in that way, I could even I could go log in low sec as flagged up in faction warfare, and then set and then just log to my alts when I want to mine Exordium. I'm done putting myself in places where random people can bully me besides faction warfare where that sort of thing is expected. I'm done with dishonorable PvP. I'm done with it. I'm not even putting myself in the. I quit Mortal. I have 2,000 hours in Mortal. I quit all these PvP games there for a bit. For a year, I was like, I'm never PvPing again. The vibes and the community and the fucking shitty shit based around it are so negative. I don't really want it in my life anymore. And I did do that for 5 months or something. I just didn't touch any of these games. I was like, no, I'll play FFXI and Once Human and Starfield, and I won't even touch these PvP games. But I've got a PvP game raging heroin addiction. I absolutely do. I love these PvP games, and I can't stop doing them. Like heroin, I can't stop. I can't stop playing Rust or Eve. I don't even care if I'm good or bad at it. I just am having so much fun playing them every day that I don't want to stop. I think of them as superior games. Look at that fucking sunset, and these graphics don't even look that good anymore. But they still look really beautiful in some ways. You don't see this sort of natural beauty so accessible in most games. It's not usually this accessible. Or honestly, it's just another day in Rust, but look how strikingly beautiful that is just on another day in Rust. If you come to any other game, even EVE Online is sort of one and the same in a lot of ways because it's just space and a lot of planets and stuff, but the stars, but but this is uniquely beautiful for from an artistic point of view. I think artistic girls who make deviant arts and stuff could get down with how fucking beautiful this actually is, and that's something that's really pretty cool about the game. And I remember when it looked really bad when I first joined the game. It had bad frame rate. It wouldn't get higher than 63 or something like that. I had a worse video card and stuff, but but it really wouldn't get good frames. It would constantly chug. I had to get 64 gigs of RAM before it wouldn't chug, and I had no other issue with any other games, not even Fortnite. Fortnite played perfectly on 16 gigs of RAM at 120 frames per second way back in 2023 or 2022 or even earlier, 2020. So I was like, why is it that I can play Fortnite at 120 frames in Ultra with just the shadows turned down, but I can't play Rust higher than 63 frames per second without terrible hitching and all that? That turned out to be 64 gigs of RAM, but I still sort of believe that if I wasn't a Rust addict, I don't think I probably really needed the 16 gigs of RAM. I think the most intensive games that I play, Starfield's, no. I play GeForce Now, so it's not even the taxes on my computer. The only intensive PC games that I play are on my drive are Fallout 76, which is 64 gigs of RAM. Definitely did help with this game, or with that game, So But yeah, like it's come a long way. Rust has come a long way. But I remember when Rust last did a graphics overhaul. That was 2023. No, it was 2021. I believe it was 2021. Yeah, about a year after I got this computer, they did a graphics overhaul. Maybe 15 months after I got this computer, like maybe summer of 21 something. And or I could go Google it, I suppose. And when it happened, it like the game became completely different for me. When I saw how fucking graphically beautiful the game could be, I found it hard to want to play other games because I was just like, I know the sunsets are beautiful, and I know swimming in the water is beautiful. I know the blue of the ocean is fucking beautiful. I enjoy it when I see it. All the green and lushness of forest or grass biome is real, or green biome is so fucking beautiful, and it still is, even though the game now looks really dated, like 10 years old, almost dated, but it still looks really good. And plus the frames only got better. I don't know how they bullied this client. I mean, I know how, it's DLSS, but they bullied this client with DLSS. This game was not good until DLSS hit. I would say it was good, but it really chugged. Like if you like, one of the things we used to do to fuck with people was like when we had a big gigantic raid coming, I would have my friend Patrick go up on the roof and he would light 100 campfires. Because we don't care. We're in the base. We're defensive. So all we have to do is fire shots at people from the roof. But the people raiding have to fire rockets and protect rocketeers and pick loot up off the ground and land the shots on the people on the roof and all that. They have a job that's much more intensive if their frames are suffering. So we used to literally, and I mean, we used to do this on purpose. We used to literally light 50 campfires all at once. And it would prevent the raid from being successful because their frames would chug so bad. Because they were all like these shit-ass kids back then. They were all like 17 to 21 back then. Now they're like 24 like Tay. But I mean, back when I started, they were like 17 to 21 or something like that. So none of them had good computers. Neither did Patrick. Patrick worked all summer one year just to buy a brand new computer because he knew how bad the campfire thing actually was. And then he bought a computer that was rivaled mine. And his whole skill set changed. He went from us thinking that he was a complete idiot who could not play to somebody who actually I thought was fairly formidable, you know, because all it was a brand new computer. Completely changed how he played. And so we used to exploit this. When I first started, in the first year of Rust was like 2020, we used to light up like 50 to 100 campfires and even sometimes string them together to a igniter and stuff so we could light them at will. And anytime somebody tried to do an outside base assault by blowing through the front door or whatever, we would just turn on the campfires, and suddenly even firing the rockets is causing them such bad frame rate loss that we could probably shoot them while they're standing there firing the rocket, right? When they fire the rocket, their frames stutter when there's 100 campfires going on at the time. And it's still like this. It hasn't changed. If you light 100 campfires at the top of a base, it does affect their rocketers fairly bad. But you don't see old tactics like this because everybody's got brand new computers or they're running on GeForce now, but they didn't used to do that. They used to actually be fairly dependable to light the 100 fires and really fuck up their run, right? They would make a run trying to raid you or something like that. Like my most favorite one was there was a scrap heli landing on our fucking roof in the base that Vast QOL gave us, and I promised him that if the base ever came up in conversation after that I would mention his name, and I made that promise and I mean it. So I mean I'm keeping the promise. Vast QOL gave us a 15 windmill base with 6 entrances, and it was 360 base right outside Bandit Camp, like right off Bandit Camp, so that you could just run there and scrap. And it was the first, or so that was my third wipe, I think my third wipe ever. And he gave Lucky this giant 15 windmill base that took us like, it took him an hour just to show us all the jump ups and all the codes and the painting that we had to protect and all that stuff. It took him an hour. He was like, I'm trying to leave this base 15 minutes ago, but it's going to take us 45 minutes for me to show you how to even enter this base. Because he had like heart motion monitors wired to switches. We didn't know which switch was which switch was which switch was which. So like, you know, so does this switch turn on the turrets or does it open the front door? Because it did all that stuff. All the stuff he wired was insane. It was like, we kept hearing so after the first raid, they popped a single door. And then for like, I don't know, a week afterwards, we were still intact, but his heartbeat sensors went off 24/7. It was just 24/7. There was some grub climbing through the hole in the wall that we couldn't fix because it was just like, you know, if you tried to go to the hole in the wall, there was like grubs out there. There was like grubs out there. You couldn't lay. Like for a week, it was like that 24/7. There was grubs out there, like full blown 24/7. There were so many bases nearby that if you even tried to go out there to seal the hole in the wall, there was 2 holes in the wall, as I recall. The grubs were just standing at the wall, and they all knew that we had the base, so they were just like waiting for us to make a mistake. It was insane. One dude came in solo like 50 times. I forget his name. But he in the end did get the raid. He like raided us solo, and he kept pushing 50. He pushed 50 times with AKs and MP5s and stuff. And you could tell he just wasn't going to stop. He had fixated on us, and he did in the end kill the last person at the end of the raid when we were all too tired out and too frustrated and too annoyed to protect the painting anymore. Lucky had been killed and her bag was gone, which was fucking fucked up. Somebody knew where her bag was, so they just went and popped Lucky's bag. So like and like, you know, we were so noob, we didn't know to even give her a new bag. You know, we were just like, Lucky's bag got popped. We were that noob. We'd only been playing for a couple weeks. So Lucky's bag got popped, and she's like, I don't have a spawn here anymore. We didn't know to give her a bag. We were like that new. We didn't know to give her a bag. We were like that new. It was the first base we ever had in any reality, really. It was the first real base we had ever had, and it was a gift. And so, you know, it was just fucking crazy. He just gave us this whole base with all of the materials and all the guns and everything still in it. He was like, my clan is quitting this wipe. They're not having fun because I made it so easy to raid, to live here and raid that they did like 200 raids day 5. You were one of them. And I was like, yeah, we got raided day 2. That was you? And he was like, yeah, that was me. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And he was like, no, that's one of the reasons I'm giving you the base. We knew you were noobs, and we hit you anyways when we really didn't need to. So I'm giving you this base because we're just quitting. And it felt really weird to kill a girl at the front door for a base we didn't need. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that was weird. It was weird. Thank you for thinking of us, you know? And he was like, it's cool. And so, like, you know... so we had that base for, I believe, 8 days, and at the end of it, it was beautiful. The day before the end, we had this massive fight against the entire server, where it was like me and my original pen pals entire lineup. It was like Big and Daltaru and Lucky and Patrick, and there was a guy there, I forget his name, but he was funny as hell. It was... Oh, I want to say his name was Tony, but I can't remember what his character name was. It was very funny. It was something, I can't remember his name though. But he protected because he was just there with us when the guy gave us the base. The guy came up to the front door, and a friend of ours was inside doing a base tour, and he heard the guy give us a 15 windmill base. So he was like, "You got to put me on team. I got to see the base." He was like, "I'm new. I got to see this base." And so he was a nice guy. He hung out with us all wipe and helped us protect the painting. But there was this one rogue dude who was really good at the game, and he just kept coming in through the roof over and over and over again, and he kept getting a door further and a door further. Like every day he got like a door further. We would kill him repeatedly over and over again. He was bringing bombs in, trying to get to the TC. He knew where the TC was. I don't know how he knew, but he knew where the TC was, and he was making a very concerted push, and he fought us like 50 times or something like that. And finally, yeah, like day 8, he managed to toss a grenade down the drop up and kill like 4 of us, and that was enough. It was me and Patrick left to fight him because we were just not there. So we came in late, and he was already banging the TC when we got there. So we dropped in, but he had the drop down at that point, and it was way harder for us to kill him than it was for him to kill us. So we had to do the drop down to reach him. So he was just spraying the floor the minute he saw feet. We weren't able to reach him, and he solo raided that 15 windmill base that was being defended by something like 12 people, I think we had. But he did it. His name was Demon. His name was, or not Demon, it was Kuro Demon, something like that, I think it was. He was some demon name, and he lived up to the name. He just kept coming for days and days and days. And when he found out that he could get that base by himself, he just fixated on it and decided to do it. But he also wasted all wipe. We went to week 3. He wasted all wipe. He wasted like 10 days trying to get in there. And then finally he did. Like 10th day he got in there, but it was already day 26 of the wipe. We had already let them burn the painting. Like our job was to protect the painting that his girlfriend had made, and it was a picture of Pepe the Frog. And it was racist. It was shitty, but it was a beautiful picture of Pepe the Frog. It was a beautiful picture. Lucky really liked it. She spent her whole wipe just guarding the painting at gunpoint. like a museum guard, because that's what we committed to doing, to receive the base in return. So we kept the promise and we defended that painting. And when they found out, somehow the server found out that we were not somehow, it was just every time they entered the base, like we would let them enter the base because we didn't care about the center of the base. All the high qual was gone in the TC by day 5 or something like that. Day 4, day 5. They had like 8,000 high qual when we started. It was insane. It's still the most high qual I've ever seen, I think. And like, and that was 4 years ago or something. And yeah, and it was just an interesting time. And so we let them in the main base because we couldn't stop them from raiding doors, and we didn't have permission on the TCs. They raided those, so we didn't have permissions on the externals anymore. They had raided those, and for a time there, for a week, all we did was there was like 50,000 internal TCs inside the courtyard to make sure they wouldn't build there, and there was 15 bases inside the courtyard, and we were living in one of the 4x4s in the courtyard. It was that fucking big. We were living in the courtyard because it was way easier to get outdoors than it was it was way easier to get to the painting from the courtyard than it was to get to the fucking top of the room where the TC was for the main base. So, and I love Rust stories like this and stuff. So we were just protecting the painting. So after like 5 days of protecting the painting, every troll on the server had informed the chat that we were defending the painting. So Lucky and Patrick and Dog and Daltaru and fucking John and all this shit, we were all sitting there like 8 or 10 of us were sitting there like all day in a garage just waiting for the next push for the painting. They were after the painting more than they were the fucking base because Lucky or somebody had told them that their only job here was to defend the painting. When the bullies found out that the painting was the main asset in the base, they completely ignored the 8,000 high qual and the 800,000 sulfur and the 15 windmills and the 50 boxes of loot and guns and stuff. They forgot all about that. They only wanted to burn the painting, and we kept that painting for 6 days. But then eventually one night while we were all sleeping, some asshole with a flamethrower raided through 7 fucking walls. He didn't do doors, or he would have lost. There was way too many turrets and stuff. So like, he didn't do doors, he just raided walls. He went through 7 fucking walls with C4 or whatever it was. We were offline, we had no idea. We all went to bed at 4:10 in the morning back then because it was summer. And like, so, it was like 4:10 in the morning, and between 4:10 and 10 in the morning, somebody would come in there and do something to us. They would open another door, or they would try to burn the painting again. It was so many times we killed people as they ran up to the painting with a flamethrower. It was the same. They would run up with like, there wasn't Molotovs back then, so it had to be a flamethrower, right? That was it. There was flame rounds, but you couldn't carry flame rounds back then on Reddit large when there's 180 people. You can't carry flame rounds to the base that you're trying to raid, or you're going to get killed by grubs on the way and lose the flame rounds. You better bring a flamethrower, 50 fuel, naked, and dodge turrets. Rust was a much different game back then. Turrets were actually formidable back then. You couldn't actually like dodge them the way you can today, or fuck with them or break them. Like, it was just way harder to break a turret back then. It would take 250 fucking HV arrows or something like that. Do you know how long that takes? That's like 20 minutes or 30. It's like 30 minutes of firing arrows. It's so fucking stupid, but we used to do it a lot. We used to bust a lot of fucking turrets with HV arrows because you can take whole bases that way. If you can eco raid with a compound bow at 300 fucking HV arrows, you're an actually skilled Rust player that doesn't, that deserves to keep the base or whatever. So we used to do that a lot. But I mean, so like that wipe, it was just insane. So finally, we had killed like 50 people at the base of the painting. I'm talking at the foot of the painting. They're like running up to burn the painting, and we're spraying MP5s into them. They were making these suicide runs with just naked bodies, 50 fuel, and a flamethrower in a dream, because they knew the painting existed. And so many of the doors by day 7 had been fucking blown that there was only like 2 turrets and 3 garage doors between the painting and us. But they couldn't do the garage doors because of the many turrets, so they just blew through 7 walls day 11 or something. No, it was like day 8 something. I think it was like day 8, something like that. Day 23 of the wipe, but it was day 8 of us having the base and protecting the painting. And it broke Lucky's heart. We woke up in the morning and somebody had burned the painting with a flamethrower, I assume, or flame rounds, whatever it was. And we woke up to Lucky was just in the garage crying like a little girl. She was like 22 at that time or something like that. She could handle it, but but losing the painting really emotionally affected her. She was like, a cat, I have pictures of it. And I was like, I know you do. We just spent like a whole week of our lives protecting a digital asset that none of us, I mean, we cared about it, but I didn't like it. It was, well, I don't like it now, but I didn't know it was racist back then. I just knew it was an ugly picture of a green frog. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was some meme culture that I didn't understand. And that's still the case. I still don't really know what Pepe the Frog is, and I don't want to know. So like, you know, and I don't want to know. I know it's Bored Ape Yacht Club, and that's enough for me. That's a bunch of child rapist fucking shithead right-wingers like all the other shithead rapist murderer right-wingers. And so, like, anyways, you know, so yeah, so Pepe the Frog, I wasn't that sad when it died. I was like, I know this is some kind of racist meme, but I wasn't that sad when the painting died. Lucky was, though, because we had defended that fucking painting for 8 days straight. We had sat in the garage for like 6 of the 8 days. First 2 days we were defending the main base. We kind of lost that. But the painting in the garage was still intact for another 6 days past the main base being lost or whatever it was. So we were just sitting in the garage with AKs and MP5s from the main base, just waiting for fucking grub after grub after grub after grub to come through some hole in the wall that they had just freshly blown. It was just insane. What can you do? You can't go out into the courtyard. There's not only the people blowing the wall, but there's also all the grubs trying to kill the people blowing the wall. You can't go out to the courtyard. They're just going to door camp you and kill you when you open the door. So you're just sitting in the garage, and there's like 50 people outside blowing holes in the back wall, and you're like repairing and fixing and sealing and killing them, and the turrets are killing them, and the grubs are killing them and everything. But the painting, once they figured out that the painting was the real goal, something like 75 fucking people fixated on the painting and just went to burn it. They wanted to burn the painting. Some of them probably really didn't like the fact that Pepe the Frog is like this racist symbol. Some of them really wanted to burn the frog. Some of them were like lecturing Lucky that how bad the painting was, but she was like, "That's not the deal. We didn't make this painting. Our deal was to protect the painting, and we're going to protect the painting, and we did." But sooner or later, yeah, at like 7:10 in the morning, I'd only gone to bed for like an hour or something like that. You know, some motherfucker came in there like 7:30 in the fucking morning and just burnt the fucking painting when all 10 of us were sleeping. And it was like the worst thing that ever happened to me in Rust. It was the most heartbreaking thing that ever happened to us. Really, that and when the pen pals broke up, that was also heartbreaking because stupid ass Dog Giraffe had to backside us and inside us and turn his back on us and betray us, which was just so fucking stupid. He was the leader. It was his business to do so with that team if he wanted to, but he didn't have to shoot us all in the back for 5 hours. That was insane. That's the sort of stupid ass shit my stream sniper does. Fucking fuck him. I love Dog Giraffe, but how the fuck do you shoot your own teammates that you just played with for 2 solid years for 8 hours every fucking day or something like that? The kid didn't have he had a job, but he barely worked. None of us really worked. So we were all there a lot. We were like all there. Like Lucky was there all day every day, and so was Patrick. He wasn't at school during the summer and stuff. So during the summer they were all there like 14 hours a day or something, like all summer. And so like it was really, really emotional when we lost that fucking painting. It really was. It was like we had spent a week fucking protecting it with our lives, and then for somebody to just come in there offline, and that is something that I think about when I think about Rust. I was like, remember when they offlined the painting? They didn't respect the fact that we had held on to it for something like 12 days. They just wanted to burn the painting. Now, lately, I learned what Pepe the Frog was, and I was like, oh, burn the painting. But Lucky really loved the painting. It wasn't about what the painting was. It was the fact that she had been a custodian, like literally like a museum guard. She was a museum guard for 7 days, and she really got into the RP of it. And when they finally offlined the garage that we defended tooth and nail for 8 days or whatever the fuck it was just totally disheartening. We quit the wipe. You know, there was like 6 days left in the wipe. We didn't play the end of the wipe because it was just like, oh, we lost the painting. We promised these people we wouldn't lose the painting. When he left, when VazQOL left, he was like, all right, guys, you have 80 turrets and like 35 of them are around the fucking painting. So, and all of them are on different wirings. So like if they take one set of turrets, they're not going to get all of them. If the turrets don't protect the painting, I'm going to need you to do that. And we promised him. We were like, yes, we will defend the painting tooth and nail with the guns that you have given us. So you made us swear. And we were like, yes, we will defend the painting. It's the only thing that really matters. Yes. And we committed to it. It was good RP. It got us all into Rust really hardcore too, for one thing. So, but anyway, so we lost that painting, of course, but we managed to keep it for like 10 days, which on a 270 pop server 4 years ago is a really truly amazing feat. There was so many attempts. There was like 100 attempts to get to that painting. There was like 50 raids on our main, and we lost the main to a solo. That we countered so many 8-man raids. We shot down so I remember now why I was telling this story. One of the tricks we learned was that the VasQOL was doing was he told us when we were on the roof, he was like, hit this button, and I was like, okay, and I hit the button, and 100 campfires lit up, and I was like, what's the point of that? And he was like, do things, and he told us why. He was like, do things, and it's good things. He was like, if anybody tries to land past the SAM sites on your roof, turn on the campfires. It will burn them alive when they try to run on the roof. And it was true. The entire roof was covered in campfires, like wired to igniters that were wired to a switch that was operated by plates on the roof, and all this other shit, and switch as well. And so, like, if they landed on the roof, they would get burned alive, quite literally, by 100 campfires. There was no place to run on the roof. There was only campfires. It was such an interesting strategy, but it did work. It would work. We used it to burn 8 dudes alive. I managed to rocket I was only 3 weeks old. Three wipes old. I was 3 wipes old. I think of it as 3 weeks, but it's 3 wipes. I was 3 wipes old, and I had a rocket launcher, and I managed to blow up the fucking crazy ass fucking scrap heli that was bringing the 8-man to land on our fucking roof, and then Patrick fired up the campfires and burned all 8 of them to death. It was the most glorious thing I've seen almost ever in Rust. It was one of the more glorious things I've ever seen. People thought Patrick was bad, but I saw Patrick kill 8 people one time. I mean, it's because I told him to flip the switch, and VasQOL set him up with the switch. We set him up, but Patrick knocked him down. Patrick burned all goddamn eight of them. They all had to ditch the scrap heli when I fired the missile at it. All of them jumped out. All 8 of them just came flooding out the back of it. I ran out on the roof, and I readied the rocket launcher. I was directly underneath them, and I fired, and I missed. And so I was reloading, and all 7 of them filtered out the back, and the guy flying the scrap heli just ditched. The scrap heli fell and exploded before we could do anything. And then Patrick turned on the campfires. We were yelling, turn on the fire, Patrick. He was on the switch, and we yelled, they're landing on the roof. You gotta switch them now. Hit the switch. And he hit the switch, and all 8 of them burned to death in fucking campfires because there was no place to run. You either jump off the fucking roof and die to fall damage, or you burn alive in the campfires because there's no place to walk. That's how good VasQOL actually was. I still don't see plays like that in the current Rust scene with like people like Tay or that guy that was building. I can't remember his name, John, I think it was. You're still not seeing interesting stuff like that. It was way more interesting 5 years ago than it is now because everybody's cookie cutter. Everybody follows some YouTube video. Nobody wants to be original anymore. They all just want to copy whatever the best build is. They might have stuff like open cores and stuff that are a little bit endgame special and a little bit bunkery and interesting and stuff. But overall, everybody's copying each other's designs, and there's almost nothing original like that campfire pit anymore at all. The other reason the campfire pit is super fucking good, right, is when they land, their frames drop to 0. They could easily run off the fucking edge of the roof, right? They could easily do that. All of our frames go to 0 too, but I mean, their frames go to 0. They're the attacking force. We're the guys naked sitting on the roof flipping switches trying to stop the aerial assault because the SAM sites are down, right? Because they're like rocket launchering fucking SAM sites from range and shit. It's insane. That's how crazy it was. All day we heard rockets going off on the edges of the base because they were shooting SAM sites and turrets and shit like this with HVs, and I didn't even care to go look half the time. I was just like, there's another HV, there's another rocket. The base was so big that the entire server wanted it, so they were all just parked outside in raid bases firing rockets at our walls and shit. It was insane. It was crazy. The last day before the solo took us, all of us got together. We were like, let's make a last stand. We're gonna lose this base, and then in the next day there's no high qual left. The walls are crumbling. We don't have 8,000 high qual to pay. like a 3,600 high qual a day fucking upkeep. It was insane. It was just insane. I was like, I can't believe the upkeep is 3,600 high qual. We can't pull that. We can't pull that without running large oil all day or mining all day with potions and stuff. We can't do that. I was like, we can't pull 3,400 high qual. We're going to lose this base in a day. I was the one who pointed it out. I was like, we cannot pay this upkeep. The whole server can't pay this upkeep. These dudes who are the best players in Rust, they can pay this upkeep. But I would say probably 150 of people on this server probably do not have the skill to fucking pay this 3,000 high qual a day fucking habit that we've managed to, you know, when he left us with, I think 8 or 12,000 high qual, and we did stretch it for a while. You know, it went on for a while. We let it crumble and then fixed it again. We kept dumping high qual into it and stuff and farming and stuff. But it was like, you know, but we could not pay that upkeep. Like there was 10 of us farming. We couldn't pay that upkeep. It was insane. We couldn't do it. So the last day, we got up on the roof with the Italian funny guy. I can't remember his name anymore. He had a funny name, but I can't remember it. We got up on the roof with all the pen pals, which was 7 of us. There was a couple of guys from Vast's team. They showed up the last day when we sent them a Discord saying they were going to lose the painting. So a couple of those guys showed up too. And I had the funnest fight I've ever had in Rust. There was like 14 of us on the roof with slanted roofs up. And then they had to push the meadow because there was no hole in the wall yet. You know what I'm saying? They had to push the meadow to put a hole in the wall. And we had nothing but meadow. There was no cover out there. We weren't allowing them to build raid bases out there. We were just killing them over and over and over again with bolties and shit. We weren't letting them build, and there was at any given time for a week there was like 5 guys on the roof with bolties because it was a target rich environment. There was nakeds and dudes with rockets running up constantly, so we were just boltying for days and days and days. There was sometimes 10 bolties on the roof. It was just insane. Just trying to stop all the people trying to build raid bases in the meadow outside bandit camp. It was just insane. So then I think it was 12 of us. We got the biggest turnout the last day. 12 of us went on the roof, and we had a shootout with the entire server, and we killed all of them. They didn't land the raid. We killed all of them. Like 150 people tried or something, and we killed all of them. They didn't have it between all the turrets in the courtyards and all the bolties on the roof and all the fucking HV rod. I had endless HV rockets, so our Italian guy was just dumping HV rockets into the meadow and fucking burning people because we had like 1,000 HV rockets. It was hilarious. So, you know, so HV rockets and bolties are going off all day. So all the grubs are coming to the raid that they think is happening, but there's only HV rockets going off. But they all are dumb and inexperienced and brand new to Rust, so they don't know that it's HV rockets. They think somebody's rocketing, so they just show up. They show up anyways, 24/7 for like a whole week. It was just insane. So at the last day, the whole server was sick of us, and they all united together, and they were like, let's get V14 out or whatever the fuck it was. Let's get V7 out. They've got to go. We could hear them conspiring in the chat. They were like, they've been sitting up there with 10 bolties hosing the meadow and killing people with rockets and stuff like this for an entire week. We've got to get them out of here. You can see them talking about us in the fucking chat. It was insane. They were like, we got to get them out of here. They're not even the original crew that built the base. They knew we weren't. So they were like, some girl is protecting a painting in there, and we have to get the painting. And the whole server was against us. It was insane. Reddit large, which is a really busy, nasty, toxic server with 250 toxic people, and all of them wanted us. It was just insane. And they were killing us left and right. We were picking up people to get knocked and picking up bolties off dead bodies and spawning on our bags on the roof, but they just couldn't do it. It was such a giant high qual base with so many turrets and so many twists and turns and all these crazy jump ups and stuff that they don't know. And back then, bases like that didn't exist. There was chonkers that'd be like 4 stories high. This was like 5 castles connected with 2 stone walls and 15 windmills and 100 turrets or something. It was one of, if not the biggest bases I've ever seen. And he gave it to us, which was just fucking nuts. And that's how that went. It was just crazy. It went on for days and days and days. Finally, we had this 12 versus 150 fight where we had the roof and they had the meadow, and we beat them. They did not get in our base. It took us solo some painting vandals blowing holes through the back wall, because we were pushing the front side bandit because the back wall was a mountain, so they had to blow through from the mountain side. And then, like, it was just insane. It was just fucking crazy. Every time they blew a hole in the wall, Patrick would run out there and seal the wall. So all of the wall was these mended walls. You ever seen mended stone walls? It's a stone wall placed with like, you know, with other normal stone walls placed up with L-shaped L-shaped roofs and stuff to fix the holes in the rated stone wall. A rated stone wall is a tactical nightmare. You've got to go seal it, but that might be a problem. But Patrick was good at sealing. He would just run out there naked with a stone wall and seal it. You know, it's not that fucking hard. So we would just send Patrick, basically, because he was the one who couldn't shoot because his frames were so low. So we sent him out there to seal. He was good at that. And so he sealed like 7 holes in our walls that were raid holes that would have really fucked us. But as the Rocketers got killed by our bolties and shit, he would run up and just seal the goddamn wall again. It was insane. So it went on like that for like 8 days. Finally, Mr. Demon, the solo guy, he manages to get down our drop down, like past the TC by fucking what was it? It was a spaz shotgun with flame rounds, and we were all dressed in full metal. So he was just he was spraying flame rounds at us when we would try to do the jump up to go kill him, and it was working. Eventually, he managed to spaz 5 of us with flame rounds, and he got down in there. And while I was on cooldown, he managed to raid the goddamn TC and seal us. And at that point, we just gave up and started focusing on the painting, which was just crazy. But it was and still is the greatest wipe of my life, and it was crazy. I remember the last day, Lucky was just crying like all day. She was like, "They got the painting. They got the painting." I really loved that painting. It was a terrible painting, but I loved it, you know. And it was a weird wipe, you know. It was, and so stuff like that. I came to Rust for that kind of chaos. I don't see that kind of stuff anymore. I only see people outside my door harassing me. That's all it was. That's all it's been. They don't come correct. They don't come with style. They don't ever talk. If they do, it's to fucking troll you or attack you or say the M-word or play some song with the M-word or something. And it's just like, you know, and it's a totally different generation, a totally different vibe, a totally lower IQ, a totally less, they try way less. They don't try as hard as we did. And all this stuff. And you can HV rocket them all the time because they can't defend against it, really. You know, it's just sort of like, you know, it's just kind of a given. Like, most rating now is HV rockets because you can't stop it, you know. So anyways, that's my little Rust story to go another half hour and stretch out, you know, the stream to the end of the road here. It's 3:30 in the morning. I think like 78% of the world is sleeping, or something higher than that. I think it's like 84% of the world is sleeping right now at 3:30 in the morning on the West Coast. So this is the safest time to go get my 8 hours of sleep and log. I'm just going to go do that. I can't pause because it's screwed up or whatever. Quit game. I'm an Exordium. I will go mining tomorrow. I will leave Tranquility proper, and I will live in Exordium, and I will do all my business there, and I will fuck with Jita, I will fuck with Faction Warfare, and I will fuck with Poshvon, but I'm not doing high sec, low sec, or null sec ever the fuck again. That's all bully ass, piece of shit ass, cocksucker players that have no honor, no skill, no manners, and no value. And I'm done with high sec, low sec, and null sec. I'm fucking done with it. It's so full of toxic bullies that all want to attack randos, and I'm done with it. It reminds me of like a prison. If you okay, you know what modern Rust reminds me of? It's like if you were to strap like a brick of heroin to your chest and then walk into a fucking gen pop in a county jail. You would be torn apart by the inmates, right? That's what Rust feels like now. It doesn't feel like something with honor where there's some kind of actual engagement where somebody actually had something to say skill-wise. It just feels like some kind of Zerg fest where you just get pwned by somebody with higher numbers. And it used to be really, really glorious, like the campfire roof base with the painting, stuff like that. Or the dime wipe where the sniper sat outside our front fucking wall for 3.5 weeks or something and just killed us over and over and over again on our second wipe. It was like our second wipe. We were not equipped to deal with a Balti second wipe. We didn't even know what a Balti was. We were like, what's the gun he keeps shooting us with? It was that bad. It was like we were that new. We were like, what's the gun he keeps shooting us with? It must be something really strong because we constantly die in one shot, you know? We didn't even know the name of the gun he was firing at us with. You could see it when you get the kill mail, you know, you get the kill. You could be like, oh, it's a bolt action rifle, right? But we didn't conceptually know what a bolt action rifle kind of was. We had never had one in our hands before, like Wipe 2. But that asshole still built outside our front door and bolted us for 3.5 weeks. So eventually it was like 3 weeks. Eventually we had our other friends just shut them out completely. We were building this crazy crazy wood wall that was like, I don't know, 16 blocks in diameter or whatever. It took the whole northeast side of the map. It would be like, it was like from harbor right here. It was like from here down to here, down to here. It comprised like 8 blocks in every direction. It was like an 8x8 block of just walls going all the way around like the northeastern part of the map and stuff in sand, just like this. And we were built in sand, and that guy with the Balti pissed us off so bad that we marketed our workforce to a neighbor, and we chopped wood for him with chainsaws and wood teas for like 6 hours, and we got them hundreds of thousands of wood back when that was a really big deal, and then we helped them protect them while they laid the wall. And then once we laid the wall, they came in and they res Dime. Dime had been there for 3 solid fucking weeks shooting us with a goddamn Balti. He was such an asshole. I hated him. He's still the guy I hate most in Rust. And he was such an asshole. He was such an asshole in so many different ways. He was a racist. He was a shithead. He really didn't care about our feelings. He didn't loot us or anything. He wasn't about looting us. He was just about killing us for 3 solid weeks. It was insane. So I hated him so much. And you see this in Rust a lot, but not like him. Like, he was there all day, 14 hours a day for 3 solid weeks. He was not logging. He was just there baltying anything in sight. It was insane. So yeah, so eventually our friends came in and Foundy wiped his tower while he was in it. And that's the most glorious kill I've ever seen in Rust. When he came toppling out of the tower, and all of his boxes came raining down of all the Balties and all the guns and all the loot he had stolen from us. And the other team, Geo's boys, they were like, "We don't need this. Have a nice day." and it took them 2.5 minutes. They showed up with rockets and they Foundy wiped him. It took them 2 minutes. And not only was it like he couldn't contend with them, we watched the tower crumble and he fell 5 stories because they brought in 8 people and they all fired rockets at the base from all different 8 directions, and they Foundy wiped him in like 2.5 minutes. And they were like, "We're gonna Foundy wipe." We kept telling him, we were like, "If you stop sniping us today, we will not Foundy wipe you." And he was like, "You fucking piece of shit noobs, we aren't Foundy wiping anything. Stop lying." And we were like, "Yes, we are. We're going to Foundy wipe you in an hour." And they're like, "What?" He was like, "What? Stop topping shit. You're full of shit. Stop lying to the whole server and me." He was like, "You are full of shit. You fucking noobs don't have anything. You're Primlock. Shut the fuck up. You're not going to Foundy wipe me." And I was like, "I promise you on my father's grave and everything, I swear I'm up and down, we will Foundy wipe you in an hour if you do not leave." And he was like, "Oh, I'm not leaving, no." And I was like, "All right, fine, get Foundy wiped." And sure enough, motherfucker got Foundy wiped in 2 minutes too. It was insane. Because he built a 2x2 tower. We couldn't get up it. He had all kinds of ladders up there and shit. We couldn't get up it without him bolting us or turrets and shit. It was just insane. We couldn't get up that tower. We tried a bunch of times. It was way too much to do if he was online. And when we were offline, we didn't have he was robbing us offline almost every couple of days or something. So we did not have any sulfur. It was just crazy. But I mean, we'd only been playing the game for 5 weeks or something. We were not equipped to deal with Mr. Balti, who has sulfur and friends and problems. We were just not equipped. So we socially stomped this guy that we never ever should have been able to stomp. This drew some attention from people like Tay. Tay had 1,000 more hours than me at that point. Or no, more. I think like 2,000 hours, more hours than me or something like that. But he still was fairly new. I think he was only 1,700 hours when I met him or something like that. But I mean, but we drew the attention of several large clans that wipe when we managed to foundy wipe Dime without ever firing a shot, and we went on and socially manipulated a bunch more raids like that. One of the things the Pen Pals was kind of famous for was that we had a girl who somehow for some reason could easily socially manipulate anybody in Rust. It didn't matter who they were; she was just good at it. She could just talk her way in. She was a Mexican lady from Mexico City, and she just was taught by her family better or something. I don't know what it was, but she could just socially manipulate pretty much anybody, as she did. And so we would just send her to like pretty much convince one clan to kill another clan, and that's how we got rid of Dime. That's how we got rid of a ton of assholes on Reddit large. We would just convince some other large clan that our enemy was a bigger problem for them than they were for us, and then we would send a girl to convince them to go fire all their rockets at our enemies. And that's what they did. They would go blow 100 rockets for us. We were far more into socially getting people to do things than we were into raiding. Nobody in Pen Pals liked to raid. Nobody did. Like when it came to, okay, we got to raid these guys or they're going to raid us, the whole team was like, we got to raid somebody. The whole team. Like Daltaru was the only one who was gung-ho to go. He was like, I want to shoot people, but I don't want to take their base. He would say it honestly. He would be like, I don't want to take their base. Then I'll have less people to kill, you know? He was like, I like my neighbors. I shoot them all day. He was like, I don't want to take their bases. Then they'll leave, you know? He literally would say stuff like that, and he would kill them all day. He was a regional, you know, I have several friends who are regional champions on Fortnite. There's my friend Smithy. There's my friend Daltaru. There's my ex-girlfriend, Cloud Candy. And then there's another guy I know named Teddy, who's a regional Black Ops 2 champion. You know, I've had, for some reason, I happen to know a bunch of fucking Fortnite and Black Ops 2 champions that I just happened to meet socially in my personal life. I didn't even go looking for them in my video game life. They were just in my social life, in my personal life. It was insane. For some reason, I tend to gravitate to people who, for some reason or another, in real life, they are Black Ops champions or Fortnite champions for some reason. I don't know why, but they are. So anyways, Cloud Candy was never a Fortnite champion, but she was Black Ops 2 champion. She was like, or what did they call that when you're, I'm sorry, regional champion. Yeah, regional champ. She was a regional champ in Black Ops in 2017 or something like that, which is fucking insane. On the West Coast, especially, it's fucking insane. But she is talented and skilled. It's one of the big things that really attracted me to her. Was she is probably better than me. It's hard to say for me to say that, but I think she's better than me. She's one of the few people I've ever met that were better than me. There's like Bagon. There's an old Final Fantasy Link Shell leader who was a female named Thayette. She was better than me at Final Fantasy 11 because she had an eidetic memory, so she could remember everything there was to know about the game. I don't have that kind of capability, unfortunately. And Dog Giraffe was better at the game than I was. Dog Giraffe has always been better at Rust than me. Dog Giraffe was better at Rust day one than I am today. Just for some reason, he just took Fortnite championships to Rust. He just took that kind of playing and he brought it to Rust. You know, he wasn't the only Fortnite champion in our Pen Pals corp either, which was kind of crazy. So there's all my Rust stuff. I'm just trying to entertain Rust players since I'm up in the Rust channel. I like telling Rust stories and stuff. Most people don't have stories like this. 15 windmills, bases, and stuff like that. So the Rust server has reset. It is 3:40 in the morning. EVE Online is also doing its reset, so there's nothing to play right now. I'm going to go to bed. This is what the developers want. That's what I'm going to do. So you've been watching Skycatlive. Thank you so much for your time, guys. This 11-hour and 35-minute session was recorded in its entirety and will be placed on my YouTube channel, which has thousands of videos and tens of thousands of views and tens of thousands of likes and stuff. And I'm doing real well on YouTube, and I'm growing a YouTube presence. So come give me a like, sub, or follow on YouTube, Kick, or Twitch. My info is Skycatlive. Come to skycat.live. Click on the cat space to donate. Come to the Twitch or the YouTube. Give me a like, sub, or follow. If you continue to fuck with me, I'll fucking kill you. And I mean it too. And I mean it this time. I've never made that threat before, but I mean it now. If you continue to fuck with me, I'll fucking find you and kill you. I can't have you fucking with my family like this, or my time, or my life. I can't. I'll fucking kill you. Full blown. I'll leave no trace either. So Now, so there we go. And I mean that too. And then this is out to the stream sniper. I'll fucking say it. You can quote me on that, bitch. Run and tell that, bitch. And I'm not afraid of you. And I mean what the fuck I say. I'll fucking kill you if you fuck with me any further. I'll fucking kill you. You understand? I'll fucking kill you. I mean it too. I'll find you and I'll kill you. So, anyways, now, the end of it is, you know, you got to stop it. You got to stop the bullying. It's been 4 years. It's your time with this is over now. So leave me alone. Your time is done now. You know, I'm full blown serious too. I don't need the feds or the cops. I really don't. I don't need that. And it's not just me either, you know. So, anyways, moving on. That's my Rust stuff. Death threats aside, I get death threats from them, so it's only fair if I do it to them, you know. So, anyways, I love you guys. Thank you so much for your time. I'll see you later. So there we go. We're gonna bomb out here. We're gonna stop the YouTube video recording, and we're gonna post it on my channel. I will title videos here for about another